On this episode of the Absolutely Geeked podcast, we have Shern from Reanimated. What's going on, brother?
What's
How are you,
good?
man?
Good, man. How are you?
Bro, I literally just woke up. I'm
Hey,
not
man.
joking. I woke up like maybe an hour ago. I had to grab a coffee because I was like, I need that right now. But yeah, we chilling. We chilling.
That seems to be the trend with you, man. I saw your the one you did with Alana, and you were just getting your morning coffee and all that stuff too. So that seems to be a habit for you, man.
I mean, it's I think because a lot of people I've been doing podcasts with are on the East Coast of the U.S. So depending on the time, I have to be up a little earlier. But depending on the night before, if I'm up later doing something, then I'm like, just gotta
I
wake
got
up
you.
and knock that out. But I didn't even know she was in
Right, right.
VA.
Bro, I didn't know either. Like I was watching, she was like, "Yeah, in Virginia." I was like, "Oh shit, I'm in Virginia too." Like that's dope. Like we
Yeah, I
all
didn't want to
like
say
this
nothing.
is
I was
crazy.
like, I'm not gonna put your business out there, but I was just like, oh, okay.
No, you good?
Yeah, but
Small
that's
world, man. Small world.
bro, it's so wild how small it is, man. So
Right.
what's
Like
what's
it's
been what's been new with you, bro? What's been good?
nothing, man. Just obviously busy doing the reactions and stuff like that.
Mm,
Just trying to get all that stuff squared away, man. Trying to see what's going on with this summer anime stuff, and then I'm going on a
mm.
trip here to Arizona soon. So
Oh,
this week
what?
actually. So yeah, so we'll be off for like a week. As far as like, I have like scheduled posts and stuff like that they're gonna release, but
Right.
outside of that, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to edit or anything. And plus, I'm on vacation mode, so fuck it.
Right, bro.
But can
I'm
I cut
telling
stuff
you.
here? Am I good?
Oh yeah, you Gucci. You Gucci.
Okay, bet.
Yeah. So all right. So vacation, like, is it just like just to get away, or are you gonna be doing something out in Arizona, or?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's to get away, obviously decompress and stuff like that. Just working all year, editing all the time, obviously can take its toll. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just going to do some hikes and stuff, do some sightseeing, and I'm actually driving back. So I'm going to Arizona, driving back, going through Colorado, then to Tennessee, then back to Virginia. So it should be a nice little trip.
Bruh. Shit.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that
man.
is a trek, bro. That is
Road
a
tripping.
bro. Is it just gonna be you, or are you going with your friends, or?
No, I'm going to friend. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, man.
that's
But
fire, bro.
yeah, y'all have like the longest highway in the world in Australia?
I'm not sure. We might.
I
we
know I know y'all have that interstate where it's like you have to like bring gas with you because there's just no gas stations on it or something like that.
It might be
Was
something
reading.
that crosses like the center. Like if it goes toward like
Mm,
in inland, that might be true. I'm not 100% sure.
okay,
I stay away from the outback. I'm cool,
I got you. I figured I'd ask the Aussie man.
bro. I'm cool on the outback. Nope, nope,
I mean, do you
nah,
do you consider yourself Aussie now that you live in Australia, or are you still like
no, bro, no. Like no way. And it's nothing against Australians, but I
right?
being out here, it's you look different already, right? So
Hmm.
I'm not trying to adopt the I'm not trying to adopt the accent or any of that. I like
Got
standing
you.
out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So I'm gonna do that on purpose to make sure that I'm not that. But I definitely have a lot to learn
I got
culturally wise though, for sure.
you. Mm,
Especially if
okay.
I'm trying
I
to
mean, is that
apply for citizenship.
right? Right. So is that like long term for you, like staying in Australia, or do you like plan on leaving Australia and going to like another country or what?
I'm long term, bro. I will be
Okay.
here. I'm setting roots here, bro, and getting
Okay.
land and property and investments here. And so
Nice.
that's the long term. I mean, obviously I'll have stuff back home, um, like
Mm,
in Vegas and stuff like that, because I own land in Texas. But like I wanna, I wanna get my last name internationally. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So and that way,
Okay.
if the offspring want to go back to the states, they have they have the ability to do so. They'll be dual citizens. They can, if they want to go to the states and live there, cool. But I just want to
So
be able to.
how does that work? So like if so, say for example you live in Australia
Mm,
and you have your kids in Australia because you're a dual citizen, they get it by default.
hmm They'll be American
Okay.
citizens
Dope.
by default. Yeah. So,
Okay.
which
Fire.
is pretty cool. And I think they have I think at their on their 18th they have the ability to denounce citizenship if they don't want it.
Mm,
So
okay.
I was like, you know what? Because I was thinking about denouncing mine, but then I was like,
Mhm.
it's not that big of a deal. And then at the same time, there's the, I want to give them the opportunity to decide what they want to do, you know? So if
Right.
they do want to go to the States, they
Mhm.
can, which is fire. But I just want to provide opportunity and then let them decide how they want to rock with it. So, but
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah, man.
Makes sense, brother. That's dope.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one for sure. I don't know how that's gonna pan out, but we'll see.
Mm.
We'll see.
It all work out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, with you, like, what have you always been in VA? Like, has that always been like your spot?
Yeah. So I was born in Germany. Lived there for like
You were born in
2 years.
Germany. Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. So I don't even know anything about Germany. I don't remember anything. Obviously, 'cause I was two when I left. So came to Virginia. Father was military.
Mm,
Um, and literally he was lucky enough to never have to move from Virginia. Like I wasn't the military family where it's like, okay, every few years we got to pack up and move. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So we got lucky in that aspect. But yeah, man, that's pretty much where I've been is Virginia. And I've obviously been other places too. I lived in St. Thomas for 6 months at a point in time.
Mm,
Um, and then I lived in, because I'm in the military as well, part time. So I lived in obviously Texas for like 2 months for basic training, and then I lived
right.
in Biloxi, Mississippi for like 4 months or something like
Hmm.
that because I had some other training I had to do there. That's pretty much it as far as places I've lived. So yeah.
How is like basic training? Like, what's that actually feel like? Like someone that, like a civilian that doesn't really know what's going on. What would they
Mhm.
expect in basic training? Like, what does that actually feel like?
Um, It's different for sure because you have
Mm-hmm.
somebody yelling at you at all times pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of a break you down and build you back up approach. So obviously they break you down mentally and physically, sometimes emotionally depending on how emotional you are, and
Mm-hmm.
then as you go through and progress the training, like I remember the last week, like you were called trainee the entire time, but once you like graduate, like you're there for like another week, and they call you, airman. Like they address you as airman from that point. So that's actually like really dope. Just
Mm,
kind of feeling that transition from trainee to airman. It's like, okay, now I'm actually worth some shit now. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
not like I'm not like a piece of shit no more. So yeah, it's interesting though for sure, man. Like you get in trouble for the stupidest things, and you think that they're just these superfluous, nitpicky things, and in retrospect, it's like okay, it's teaching you to pay attention to details, teaching you discipline
Right.
and things like that. So yeah, it's not bad though. It's not bad.
Yeah.
That's from an Air Force perspective. Excuse me, my bad.
I mean, that's dope though, bro. Like I think my grandfather was in the Air Force. I didn't really have a relationship with him, but
Mhm.
that's dope, man. I didn't know. I had no idea that you had military background. That's dope.
Yeah, man, something slight. I mean, I'm not obviously like too open about it, not because I'm like super secret about it.
Right.
I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, I serve my country and all this other stuff. So,
Right. Now, that's
but
wild.
yeah.
I mean, because what do you do? I mean, what do you do outside of YouTube? Like, what's like your full time?
So full time, I work for Raytheon. You probably heard of them. They're a
Yeah.
DoD contract company. They have places in Australia as well,
Yep.
uh, like contracts in Australia. Excuse me. But yeah. So I work for Raytheon. I work on some sensors and stuff like that. The title is Senior Systems Engineer, which is basically a glorified sysadmin
Mm.
for my tech people. But yeah, that's what I do outside of it. And then I have my guard that I do 1 week in a month and 2 weeks a year. So very small obligation to that.
Right. That's fire, bro. Yeah, I didn't know you had that IT background when I was chatting with you before. I was like, oh shit, my man, he a nerd for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I definitely get a little nerdy songs with the IT stuff, man. I definitely like geek out over, no pun intended with your name, but over technology and different uh I guess advanced technologies like the smart home stuff. Like when that stuff came out, like I was all on it, man, because it's like, yo,
Bro.
like this is super dope. I was like, I have to get a house now, so here we
Bro,
are.
that yeah, IoT is that's dope to me. Like I think that's something that once so I was the same way. I was like, oh what? I could do what with what? Okay.
Yeah,
Let's get
man.
this popping. Obviously the lighting is like the first thing you get. It's like, okay, cool,
Yep.
got lights and I control it with my voice or my phone. Like there's just something about that I was like, this is
Mhm.
fire. But
Right.
yeah, man.
Actually, the first thing I got was the smart thermostat. Actually,
Which one did
So
you go with?
I went with the Ecobee because I like the more squared off design opposed to like the
Right.
Nest, which is more round.
Hmm.
I just felt like it looked better because it's like square and it comes with like a square back plate. So on a wall, the circle just kind of looked weird to me. But tomato tomatoes, whatever your preference is, of course.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when the Nest at first came out, there was a big thing about it because I believe the designer or engineer for the iPod was the one that created the Nest. And then so
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
people were like, oh, like is Apple coming out with a thermostat? But it's like he had left the company already. So it
Right.
was I was like, oh, that's actually kind of wild. But yeah, that's dope, bro. When did you get your house?
Oh man, shoot, I want to say like three. It was like 3 years ago in May.
Mm,
So 2018 around that
mm,
time. So yeah, that's when I had actually got my house, and then I started doing like my home improvement stuff that I wanted to do. So I built like a paver patio out back. I built a fire pit in it. Obviously the smart lights and stuff like that. Uh, Painting rooms that I wanted painted. I finished my garage because it was like just the drywall and the painting tape and stuff like that, or painter's tape, whatever it's called, the masking tape to
yeah.
match the joints. So I had to put like sheetrock and all that stuff over it and sand it down and then paint it. It was a pain in the ass, but it was an experience. I learned a lot doing a lot of this home improvement stuff, so it was dope.
Yeah, that's fine. Cause I remember I actually saw when you put up that backdrop. I was like, oh,
Oh yeah,
bro.
the wall, yeah, man.
I was
That
like,
was a pain in the
ooh.
ass too.
Yes, bro. I mean, that chevron design is difficult to. I mean, it's tedious when you get to the edges and like, oh,
Yeah, because you have to get just the right angle. You know what I'm saying? So that it looks flush. And sometimes I just didn't get the right angle. I was just like, fuck it. And then I got paint that like matched the actual like wood, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna paint in these little like lines so you can't tell unless you like get up on it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the herringbone wall was just herringbone anything
yeah,
is easy until you get to the corners. Then you have to start making measurements and cuts. And because I did that with my paper patio out back as a herringbone pattern as well, and it was just a pain, but it's worth it. It's definitely
I
worth
mean,
it though.
it looks super fly. Cause I was like, damn. Cause
Yeah,
obviously
appreciate
like
it.
when I move out of here, cause I sold this place at the top of the year, but everybody's leaving Melbourne and Sydney to come to the coast to come up here. So by the time I had decided to leave, I was like, I don't know if I want to buy a house yet. Let me just see what the rental space is out of here. But there was nothing, bro. Like everybody, there was like no vacancies, bro.
Oh
So
man.
I went to open house just to see like this condo so I could see if I could rent there further north.
Mm.
Bro, there was 30 people at this open house, bro.
Damn.
I was like, you know what? So I contacted the person that bought my place. Like, hey, do you have a tenant yet? He's like, no. I was
Mm.
like, I'll rent from you for a year. And he was like, perfect. Because he actually lives in Melbourne. So he wasn't even trying to move up here. He just wanted a rental property. I was like, perfect.
Ah, nice.
But I want to be able to, because like in this room, like I painted it gray and, the whole stuff. And I want to have creative freedom in my space to do stuff
Right.
like that. And
Right.
when you did that wall, I was like, oh, that'd be dope. Because I essentially wanted a room big enough to where each wall was a backdrop for something. So then I could just kind of
Hmm.
have spaces, almost like sets.
Right. You can
Um,
literally just rotate and just have whatever backdrop you want for whatever video you want. Like that. Yeah, that's the goal. Like that's super dope. So for sure.
bro. So I was like, man, but obviously me renting, you can't just do that to anybody's property.
Right.
So I was like, damn, man. But I think the idea of needing to manage a yard and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that right now, bro. I did it too much as a kid, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I
Yeah,
don't want
that's
to do it.
that's a pain in the ass too, man. The lawn care, because I mean, owning a home is dope, but you're also responsible for literally everything. So, like, did you hear that ding just now, or am I tripping?
No, I didn't hear it.
That didn't come. Okay, perfect. No, it was my my iMessage. I just want to make sure it wasn't coming in through our audio. But yeah. So you're literally responsible for everything, bro. So like your yard, you know what I'm saying? You're responsible for any like maintenance. Like if your water heater goes out, you're the one that has to replace that unless it's covered under home warranty and stuff like that. So
Right.
it's pros and cons to everything, obviously. But it is what it is, man. It's definitely rewarding though, just having that ownership and having something that you can either rent out or pass on your family. So that's definitely a pro for sure.
Yeah, I mean, is the cost of living in VA pretty solid? Because I know, like, obviously it depends on the city how expensive things are, but
Yeah. So like obviously if you move further up north to like the DC Nova area, Nova is Northern Virginia for those who don't know. It's very expensive.
okay.
Like like you're looking at like $1,800 or 1,800 US dollars for like a one bedroom studio apartment.
Mm,
Up in Nova. Depending on the part of Nova, of course, too. Like the closer you are to the city, obviously the more the price goes up.
right.
But where I live right now, my house, it's like 1,850 square feet, and I'm paying like I want to say 1470 something a month. So
Mm-hmm.
the
Nice.
mortgage, so that's yeah, so it's not bad at all. Depending on where you go, obviously, and what you get, there's you gotta feel the market out, man. So speaking of which, how's the market over there? Because obviously with coronavirus and all that stuff going on, the U.S. was getting like stimulus checks and stuff. So a lot of people were buying homes. Like this, it became a seller's market or a buyer's market, excuse me. Like people were just buying homes up, and it's very difficult to find a home to buy right now.
I think it depends on the city here. Like we were getting, we didn't really get like stimmies like that. There was this job keeper situation that the government was putting out for people that had lost their jobs. They were still getting like support from the government like weekly,
Hmm.
basically compensating them for the lack of money they were getting.
Gotcha.
And then they were paying companies to keep people on their payroll. So they were like, all right, cool, like keep people here. So they did their best to really make sure that stuff didn't really like die. It was a little bit different in certain cities where it was really hit pretty hard. Like Melbourne was kind of hit
Yeah.
pretty hard. They had a really long lockdown for Australia. They had a really long lockdown. But land values went up. In the Gold Coast, things got because people started moving up here because Queensland we locked down and shut our borders to everybody like super early. So you couldn't come in and out of Queensland unless it was like if you were like shipping or something like that. But outside of that, it was kind of low key. So we've been out of quarantine like for real and just kind of doing regular shit since like June last year. So
Nice.
to where like there's like no like there's rarely any cases, and then like we have an app out here that's through the Queensland government that any restaurant or whatever when you go then you scan the barcode, you check in for contact tracing. So anytime there was like a little
Nice.
breakout from like a quarantine hotel or something like that, or somebody
Hmm.
came in afterwards that may have had it, they'll lock down for like 3 days. Like, all right, cool, we're gonna lock down for 3 days, mask up, they'll trace where this person's been, blah blah, and then notify whoever was there. People will quarantine, and then 3 days we're out. Like, I think we've only done that twice in an entire year where we actually had to lock down for more than like 3 days. But
Okay.
because of that, everybody wanted to move to Queensland, so everybody was coming up here, and so as far as rent, in comparison to where I was in like LA, like this is Gold Coast is pretty amazing when it comes to that, but
Yeah. LA
Sydney
is
is
OD.
very expensive. Melbourne is pretty expensive, but Gold Coast it's not as cheap as Vegas, but it's still not as expensive as LA. So
Okay. I
yeah,
got you.
yeah, I was like, I don't know,
Damn,
but I
yeah.
think,
I know LA's cost of living is ridiculous, bro.
bro, when I was there, I was in Marina Del Rey when I first moved out there, and our apartment was a one bedroom. It was like, bro, I want to say it was like 700 some square feet, and that thing was $2,500 a month.
Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous, bro. That's $1,000 more than what I pay for a house, bro.
Bruh,
Ridiculous.
trust me, bro. My dad, cause I told my dad what the rent was, and he was like, dude, he was like, that's like it was almost $1,000 more than my dad's mortgage, and his house is around 3,000 square feet in Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And that's the thing though. Like the real estate market is interesting as far as like the cost of houses because it's like okay, you can have this big ass house and it might be cheap, but it's like okay, where is that house at and why is it
Right.
that cheap? You know what I'm saying? Because like if you're in
Mm-hmm.
Vegas, like you're in the middle of a fucking desert. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's hot as hell. Like it's not in my opinion. I've never lived in Vegas, so I wouldn't know. But in my opinion, it's not like the ideal place that I would want to live. You know.
Oh, trust me,
And
like
then I
growing up in
think
Vegas is weird, bro. It's if you're like you can make a crazy amount of money in Vegas. Like it's really easy to make money there. Cost of living super low. Nothing ever closes. Everything's new. Like Vegas spoils you in a way and kind of skews your sense of reality. Like it's its own
oh
thing.
man.
So like when you
Mm.
leave it, you're just kind of like, why do things close at 9 o'clock, or why are things closed at 6, or why can't I go to this spot at 1 a.m. just to grab some food, or just
Yeah.
that, or like again, Vegas has nothing really old. If it gets old, they blow it up and then make something new. Like so, but at the same time, there's no history really because you can't go back like, oh, remember, let's go to the spot we used to go to when we were kids. That thing is gone now. That
Right.
doesn't exist
They
anymore.
always doing. They always tech refreshing everything.
Bro, so it's Vegas is really strange, and a lot of people they don't
Mm.
leave because it's so inexpensive and you can make a lot of money in hospitality there. So they're like, nope, we're cool. And it's
Huh.
like 4 hour drive from LA, or hour flight. So if they want to go to the beach, they get on a plane. It's an hour. It's like a return trip to LA is probably like $150 from Vegas. It's not that expensive.
That's not
So
bad.
it's bro, and then like you're kind of close to like the lake if you want to go Lake Mead, if you want to go to sightseeing in Arizona and do like the Grand Canyon and stuff. You're like a couple hours out, so you're kind of centralized in that area of like things around you. If you want to go snowboarding and stuff like that, you have Mount Charleston, or you can take a 2 hour flight up to Salt Lake and go to Bryce and like there's I mean not Bryce but snowboard up there. So like there's a lot of stuff that you can do around there, but Vegas is just it's too hot, bro. It's too hot.
I got you, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not really for me. Just like the I guess a lifestyle too, because it's like obviously like the nightlife and stuff like that, and a lot of clubs, partying and stuff like that. Like I'm more like I'm not saying I won't do that, but I'm more reserved. So I would much rather
Mm-hmm.
enjoy a night inside or doing something less involved with people before I go do that. So being encompassed around that literally year round, I couldn't do it, man.
Bro, I'm with you. I'm the same way. Like anytime the homies were like, "Yo, let's go. We're going out to the club." I'm like, "Look, I'm good, bro. I'm chill. Like that's not my cup of tea, really. I
Yeah,
mean, even when we performed on the strip during the Jabba show, afterwards they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to this bar." I'm like, "All right, well, I'm going home. I'll see y'all later." I just couldn't. It just wasn't my thing.
yeah. I'm very I don't want to say I'm very introverted. It's just like it's all conditional. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
introverted in certain scenarios, but I'm also extroverted as well in certain situations. And I can make myself be extroverted, but I also need to like after I do that, I need to take time to myself and just chill and decompress because like that does take kind of a toll on me, just
Yeah.
having to be active like that around people. So yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
So how is it like being like on camera, like the YouTube side of stuff? Like, is it kind of like to your point because like you're in your own space, you're just like you're with your friends, it's on camera, you're just kind of shooting the shit. Like, does it not feel the same? Does it feel like something completely different? Like,
Yeah, it's a completely different because obviously I'm in the comfort of my own home for one because we record out of my house. But so there's that, and I'm around people that I'm comfortable with and that I know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
mm-hmm.
really have the issue of like, okay, am I around people that are disingenuous? Am I around people that I can't be myself around? I can't be myself around these guys. So
Right.
it makes it easier. You know what I'm saying? To be extroverted with them, and it doesn't really take that much of a toll, if any at all. So yeah, it's definitely different.
What got you guys into that? Like, what was the whole thing of like, let's do anime reactions with the bros? Like, what was the process with that?
Funny, it was a funny story. So my boy, so Reanimated actually kind of got a facelift, in a sense. So, it used to be myself, my boy Jerry, my boy Long, and my boy Shino. So Jerry, he was like, "Yo, like I've been, seeing these anime reaction stuff. It's something I would like to do." Da da da.
Mm,
Da. So I was like, "Okay, that sounds dope." Well, I have cameras upstairs. I have microphones. I have a TV. Fuck it, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Let's try
right,
it. Because having an idea is one thing, but actually executing the idea is a whole nother thing. So, we had
facts.
to sit here and come up with a name. And at first we were the anime gents. It was cringe. Cringe as fuck in my opinion. 'Cause that's the hardest part, in my opinion, bro, is coming up with a name. You know what I'm saying? Because like, okay, what can
Okay,
I make that's gonna be catchy, that's gonna,
right,
stick, that people are gonna, they're gonna hear that name, they're gonna associate it with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very
right.
difficult, in my opinion, to come up with a name. So, just started spitballing ideas, and I just threw out. I was like, okay, let's, re and then let's add something in there that's anime related. So we ended up coming with reanimated. So I put the logo together and all that stuff, and then we sat down, recorded. Our first reaction was Dr. Stone,
Mm,
and we just did this shit on a whim. Edited it, put it out there. I got introduced to the copyright system fairly quick, so I had to,
boy.
yeah, you know how it is. But
Mm,
I had to learn how to maneuver that with the editing and stuff like that. Learn, okay, how often I have to make cuts, what I have to do as far as altering the video to make it get past the filters that's there. So did that, and then we got our first comment. It was from a random person, and they were like, "Oh, some new reactor is cool," and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, did no promotion from our side of the house. Like, we literally didn't promote it. We were just like, we're gonna try it. We're gonna make sure this is organic, and we put it out there, and we got a bite. So
right.
it was kind of history from there. And this was around the time that Demon Slayer was out. So
Mm.
Demon Slayer really catapulted our channel. We got up to like 1,000 subscribers, I think, within a couple weeks of doing it. And then we got hit with copyright strikes. We got hit with three of them, and we didn't have, we weren't monetized yet. So if you're not monetized, your channel immediately gets deleted. You don't have the opportunity to rebuttal
Wow.
the strikes. Yeah. So our first channel had got nuked basically. So we made a backup
Oh
channel,
shit.
and yeah, it was it was tough. So we made a backup channel, and once we made the backup channel, or excuse me, the new channel, um, I had learned lessons from what happened to Demon Slayer 1, implemented those, and then
Right.
we've been good ever since, fingers crossed.
Mm.
So yeah, so that was that, and then as we progressed through it, we brought some of our other friends on. So some of the ones that you know now, Terrence, Javon, Taylor, they were in on different series and stuff like that. And then the core group kind of had a falling out. So because I was doing all the editing and stuff, and then Jerry, he wanted to do editing too, but the the issue was like he wanted like deadlines and stuff, and I'm not throwing no shade. I'm just kind of just getting the story out there as far as what exactly happened. A lot of people don't know. So he was like he would like make deadlines and stuff like that, and be like, "Yo, make sure you have this out by then, or make sure this, that, the third." I'm like, I know you don't have to tell me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want this to grow just as much as you do, so I'm working on this stuff as fast as I can as well. And then I passed some edits on to him, and then there were certain things where it's like, okay, his computer at the time was slower, so it would take longer to render the videos out, and then it would take longer to upload the videos because his Wi-Fi wasn't as fast as mine. So we were having these, long wait periods.
Mm.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, they aren't long, but it was like maybe a difference of like 4 to 5 hours. But 4 to 5 hours, if you're trying to get something out
If you're
immediately,
early, if
that's
you yeah, if you're a new channel, that's detrimental time.
exactly, like you have to be early. Like, you have to be one of the first people if you're a newer channel, because you have to get out there first. Because as soon as people are done watching the episode, they're gonna go look for reactions for it. So you
Mm.
have to make sure you're on top of it. So basically, there was that issue, and I'm like, bro, like it's an issue when I'm doing it, but when you're doing it, it's fine and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So we just butt heads a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because we were all creatives in our own rights, and we all did our own thing prior to coming together. So when you have
Right.
creators that are solo one man teams and they come together, you all just start to butt heads because everybody has
Right.
different ideas, everybody has different visions for how things should work. You know what I'm saying? So obviously communication is important in those situations, and making sure that nobody steps on anybody's toes, and that it just kind of just ended up falling through. So he ended up, leaving because of that. He was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go do my own thing. So he did that, and he also does reactions as well at FNPS on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe to him as well. He's dope. And again, no bad blood. We're still very cool. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? We just butted heads on something. So it's all
Right.
good. But yeah, so he left because of that. My boy Long left because he felt like there was like some lingering tension and stuff, and just kind of felt like it wasn't fun anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, you're a grown man, so if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to
Facts.
stop you. I'm not going to beg you, So, I appreciate you for, the help and, all the contributions. And he left. And then the other dude, Shino, he just didn't have like consistent transportation at the time. So it kind of just fell out because of that. So naturally, it was just like, all right, well, I'm not going to go, pick you up and bring you here and then drop you back
Right.
off and then come back and edit every single time. Like, that's just not realistic. So that fell off. And then I brought in Taylor, Javon, and Terrence full time, just to react because they were already reacting with me. So I was like, all right, well, fuck it, let's just kind of do a facelift, a restructure, essentially, and we've been rocking ever since. So we're going a year strong, man. Well, excuse me, over a year strong, almost 2 years. But yeah, so since ever since. And then our channel got deleted because we got 3 copyright strikes on the new channel, and then had a backup channel we were operating on, and then luckily we were able to recover the channel back after like a month and a half, going back and forth with YouTube because they have the copyright system on YouTube is horrible. I don't even. That's a whole nother
Bruh.
discussion, man. Like it's just
Bruh.
trash. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Man, I mean, so yeah, because I remember when you guys were getting hit with that, when you're going through that whole situation when they basically shut the channel down, you created a backup channel, and I was like, what is going on? Um,
Yeah,
so when you guys came back, right? Did you notice anything different when it came to like reachability, when it came to anything like
absolutely,
that?
absolutely. I wholeheartedly believe that when you get your channel like deleted, you kind of get like shadow banned when you come back in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Not permanently, but obviously you have to work your way back up the algorithm because so Roshi, for example, he had his channel taken down, and he got his channel back, and then he had to gradually build it back up, and now he's at over 400,000 subscribers. He'll post a video of an episode that came out, this week. But he has a luxury now because he's so big of a channel. He can post that video the next day and still break 100K on the video. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you definitely have to work your way back into the algorithm, however that works. I know he had some videos that were over a million views. I think he had a couple videos over a million views. So I think that pre-existing kind of helped carry him over and get him integrated back into the algorithm.
Right.
And again, I don't know how it works. There's really no rhyme or reason. My general rule of thumb is upload as early as you can, and then hashtags, and then comment interaction. You know what I'm saying? I think that helps a lot as well. So just trying to look out for those things. But yeah, bro, like before we got deleted, we would do like reactions to series that have been out for years. And I'm like, Asobi also but say is not a huge series. It's like a comedy series that we did a reaction to. And I'm talking about we would get like 30K plus views within a day or two. You know what I'm saying? And it's been out for years. Now if we do something like
Right.
that, it's like okay, in a few days it might break, depending on the series, it might break like 5K. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Very rarely does it break 10K, depending on the series, of course, and the popularity of it. But it's interesting. They don't recommend you as much once you lose the channel. So it is what it is, though. We take it in stride, and we try to adapt as we can.
Yeah, I'm in a weird space because my channel's never been like shut or whatever, but I'm really good at understanding algorithm and the tech side of stuff. And looking at analytics and stuff like that, I've noticed a gigantic teeter on mine, like a massive downward trend. And I was like, what is going on? And to your point, there was times I'd upload a video and I would eat like let's say because I started out as a tech channel early, I'll do a video
Right.
on my stuff, 20K, 30K, easy, no problem. Like
Mm.
then when the anime stuff, I'm like, I think when I started doing Naruto stuff on the channel, that became like the main thing on the channel. So algorithmically, it was like, okay, he's really doing a lot of entertainment content, blah blah. So it actually stopped recommending my tech content. So when I would do any tech videos, it just wouldn't get seen. It was like 1,000 views, 2,000 views. I'm like, what is going on? So I was like, you know what? It's probably because my channel is so geared towards anime and entertainment stuff that it's not recommending this anymore. All right, cool. Wash my
Yeah.
hands. It is what it is, right? I need to create a separate channel for tech stuff. Cool, no big deal. But the anime stuff over a period of time just started to just falter. Like no
Mm.
recommended, like it wasn't being recommended. People were telling me they were getting unsubscribed from the channel. Like they were like, I didn't know I was unsubscribed. Like I had no idea.
Oh wow.
And then I started seeing other, like I would upload a video at the same time
Mm.
somebody else would, and it just would not go. Like it just wouldn't go. I'm like, what is going on? Like what? How does it go from what I was usually getting on a reaction anywhere from 20, 30,000 views easy to barely cracking 2 or 3K? Like what is
Yeah.
that? And then I started noticing trends on my subscriber where it would go up for like 3 days and then it would drop like 100 subscribers. And then it would go up for 3 days and then drop 100 subscribers. Like it was like
You would
clockwork.
lose subscribers.
Yeah. I mean, it's still ongoing right now. Like where it's like it would go up a few days at a time and then it would almost
Hmm.
remove all of those subscribers at the same time,
Oh
like in
wow.
one day. Bro, it's been going for like a good couple months now. It's weird. I'm
That's
like,
gotta be.
it's so strange, bro. I'm like, what is going on? And it's not like the ad revenue has been affected. It's really weird though. It feels like YouTube is like suppressing the channel for growth. It's so weird, bro.
Interesting.
It's the weirdest thing. So I don't know if it's just because of over the years all the copyright stuff on the channel where it came to like, not necessarily a strike, but like, they block
That
stuff or
claim.
they,
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So they get claimed. So I went through like yesterday and like deleted, oh my God, like 80 something videos that were just claimed where they were like blocked in all countries. So I was like, just delete it. I just want to see like if that affects reachability, depending on how many
Yeah.
claims are on the channel, if that affects that. So I'm in a experimental phase as well. But to your point, it's like, all right, cool. Let's just figure out another way to do it. I'm not
All right.
I'm not in that mind frame of like, oh well, it used to work, and why isn't it working now? I'm gonna keep doing the same. It's not working anymore, bro. Like you gotta switch something up. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah,
not
man.
I'm not too precious about falling in love with what used to work. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, and if you look at it, like honestly, bro, like that shit is kind of demoralizing because it's like, damn, like what am I doing wrong or like because I can't imagine like seeing the subscriber count go up and then drop every single day. Like I'll see like maybe a couple people drop off because I check my subscriber count roughly every day. So I'll check the
mhm,
subscriber count, see how much is growing in the day. And be like, okay, it grew. Like some days it grows 30, some days it grows like over 100. It just really fluctuates and depends on, I
mhm,
guess, the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody
right,
gets recommended something, they might subscribe. Like, and I'll see like other like YouTubers, and again, no shade to anybody. I'm just going based off observations. I'll see other YouTubers where they have like 70,000 something subscribers, and they have like 11 million total video views. I go to our page, we have 20 million something video views, but we're still under them subscriber count wise. So I'm like, where's the drop off in the translation from views to subscribers? You know what I'm saying? Because views obviously don't equate subscribers. Because if they were,
correct,
we'd obviously have hundreds of thousands of subs. But
right,
it's weird, man. It's definitely weird. Um, and then speaking of demoralizing, like if you look at like Patreon, like obviously every month, as soon as that first hits,
oh yeah,
man, you're gonna see a
oh
dip in
yeah,
subscribers, man.
yep,
Every month, bro.
yep,
Like we'll get so close to 1,000, and then it'll drop down to like 600 something. I'm like, bro, 400 something. Like that's crazy.
yeah,
Now, obviously, Patreon they'll try and reattempt throughout the month to
right,
bring those people back on if it declined or whatever. But yeah, man,
right,
it's a vicious cycle, but it always corrects itself in a way. So yeah, it's just trying to figure out how to continue to grow, where you can do things differently. So I was like, all right, well, let's change the room up. You know what I'm saying? Let's add
Right.
a different type of ambiance to the reactions. I mean, there's all types of stuff, and plus, it's obviously put money back into the business. Like I'm a firm believer that if you're doing anything business wise, you want to put your money back into it because it's going to show in the quality. It's going
Facts.
to show to the viewership that you're using their money for something beneficial,
Mm-hmm.
not just fucking around and just like balling out. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like
Correct.
that. So all these things, in my opinion, will pay off in the long run. We'll see. We'll see how true that is, but time will tell. Time proves people wrong or right. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. I think that's something too that I completely agree with, especially when it comes to the reinvestment part. Because it's real easy to be like, oh damn, like we're doing what now? We're making what? Okay, like it's real easy to just want to do the dumb shit.
Right.
But I think when you stop doing what got you to where you are, like people start to see that. And I think at the
Hmm.
same time, to your point of like, there's like this burnout shit is kind of wild because you get to a point at which the grind just catches up to you and your body cannot sustain it.
Yeah.
Your mental can't sustain it. Like for me,
Hmm.
I'm a one man team, so I do everything myself, and
Yeah.
that's just on my channel. That's not even talking about any of the other stuff that I'm involved in, whether it be apps, whether it be Ismahawk, whatever. It's just my YouTube channel. Is
Right.
just me. So I'm
Hmm.
like, like holy shit, bro. Like, and trying to find editors in Australia, that I can get a hold of and work with is really difficult because I would need somebody that kind of understands anime to cut
Right.
the reactions the way that they need to be cut.
Hmm.
And while I could find editors in the States, to your point, time is everything. So
Right.
if I record something and then I upload it and I send it to somebody, depending when it drops, they may be asleep, they may be at work. You know what I'm saying? There's a
Hmm.
whole other side of this where I'm like, it's difficult to, get that support. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
I agree though that that investment is huge. That investment is massive.
Right. And yeah, I know how the one man thing is too, because I do like obviously there's more people in Reanimated. It's not just me, but as far as like the workload is concerned, like I'm doing like the editing, I'm doing the promotion and stuff like that, the business side of the
Hmm.
stuff, I'm doing all that. So I get what you're saying, and it does add up. It does become tedious, balancing edits with a full time job, with having a social life of some sort. Like it's a lot, man. It's a lot. You gotta just take time to yourself sometimes and just take a step back. And then, and to your point with the
Right.
editor, like so for me, how I envision it moving forward as we start to get larger. Obviously everything I want it to make sense. So when it comes to
Hmm.
edits, I want it to make sense that if I'm paying an editor, that video is making what I'm paying the editor or more.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And if
Right.
it's a little bit less, cool, I'll work with that. But
Right.
I want it to make sense numbers wise. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to
Correct.
do anything counterproductive. So
Hmm.
I would hire an editor and then have them do like say for like so we're doing Hunter x Hunter, right? So I'd have them edit the Hunter x Hunter edits because there's really no like, oh, it has to be
There's
out
no
at this
timestamp.
time. Right, it's
Correct.
our schedule. Now, if it's something that's like
Hmm.
time sensitive, like a new series like Chainsaw Man, for example, when Chainsaw Man drops or anything that's new, I'll do
Boy.
the edit myself because I know I can sit down and edit it, knock it out, and
Right.
30 minutes, cool, have it posted. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about an editor, you know, transfer time to get the files, to download the files, to edit the file, to send me the file for me to download it and upload it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just way too much back and forth. So um, I would only do that with non-time sensitive things. You know what I'm saying? So I guess moving forward, maybe you could
Right.
do something similar too. 'Cause I know you do some like older series
Yeah.
too. So
I
yeah,
mean,
that's an option.
I have the challenge with me is the time zone. So because Japanese anime on Crunchyroll and stuff like that, they drop based on U.S. time. So
Oh, do
they'll
they really?
drop and it's 1 a.m. here. It's 2 a.m. So
Oh
before I
man,
was like, fuck it. I'm dropping this. I'm watching it as soon as it drops. So I would go to the
yeah.
gym at 12, get home, shower real quick, get on a reaction, edit it, and I'll be asleep by 3, 4 in the morning, right? So
Mm.
that was cool until it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Right.
was cool until my
Right.
body was like, bro, your social life is gone. You can't really have a
Hmm.
relationship. There's a lot of stuff that plays into that where you're just
Right.
like, damn, bro, like this is difficult on time. And for a
Hmm.
lot of people, it's like, oh well, you work in graveyard shift. Yeah, bro, but like that doesn't mean any like if you're trying to have an actual life, this isn't the States. Like people like stuff closes at 5.
Hmm.
Like everything is shut at 5 o'clock, 5:30 at the latest, right? Sundays things close at 4:30. So like, yes, bro. So imagine
That's
I'm
crazy.
I'm I go to bed at 7 a.m. because I'm doing work, blah blah. I wake
Hmm.
up if I go to sleep and I wake up and it's what 3 in the
You
afternoon.
got an hour or two
You see what I'm
to
saying?
do stuff.
It's like, bro,
Yeah.
it don't make no sense. So it's trying to figure that out. So I was just like, man, it starts to feel
Damn.
like you're almost like siloing yourself from everything,
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's not the move. So it's figuring that
No,
out for
I
sure.
feel that. I feel that, man. Yeah, that definitely takes a toll, bro. Because I work night shift now. Not with the reactions and stuff. I mean, I'll probably be up late editing
Right.
them, but like just my actual job, I work overnight. And it's interesting. Obviously, in the U.S., we have things that are open relatively late for the most part, so they'll be open till like 9, 10 p.m. Some of them
Right.
even midnight. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
yeah, it's I can't imagine everything closing at 5, bro. Like
Bro.
you have a very small window in the day to get stuff done, man. That's crazy.
Bruh. We have one day where things are open late, and that's Thursday. Well, here on the Gold Coast. Late night trade here on the Gold Coast is Thursday. Late night trade in most cities is Friday. And that means everything's open until 9 that day.
Okay.
So, but that's one day where you can go shopping later,
Hmm.
do stuff later. But,
So
obviously
how
clubs
early
and
does stuff
restaurants will be
open?
open. But
Right.
um, most cafes open at like 6, 7 o'clock.
Hmm.
And if you guys don't know, Australians love coffee and cafes and shit. It's a lot of British culture, right? Like a lot of like,
Right. Because the British
so,
settled in Australia, correct?
right, colonized as usual. So let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it a stack,
No,
colonized
no.
as
I mean,
usual.
you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
So, so did that. And so that culture is here for sure. So for that, it's like, all right, those are open, cafes are open early, and then shops open around 8, like 8 or 9. No, I think it's 9. I think it's 9 o'clock. Like centers open, grocery stores open around like 7:30. But it's only like a really 8-hour trading window, and then that's it. Like so,
Okay. So majority of the places are like 9 to 5 for the most part.
yeah, yep,
Mhm. Okay.
yep,
Interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's actually mad interesting when it comes to the trade. Like so, when I moved here, I was still working for Apple, so I transferred to the store here, and bro, like the actual timeline, like working the shifts there, I was like, hold on, there's really only one shift, which was cool, but at the beginning of the day is really slow because no, everybody's at work. You know,
Right.
so you have certain people
Yeah.
come like later.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah. Damn. Cause I'm so used to like everybody here like having like different shifts and stuff. So like you can go out in the afternoon and it'll be like super busy because everybody's on lunch break. Or you can go out
Hmm.
like maybe around 2 p.m. when everybody's already had lunch and stuff, and it might not be as busy. You know what I'm saying? Because most people are not at work. Or sometimes it'll be busy as hell because other people work different shifts and they're just out doing whatever on a Wednesday. I'm like, bro,
Exactly.
like you don't work? Like what are you doing? I'd be getting pissed if the
Yeah,
roads are so packed. Like
bro. It was
jeez.
a definite shift because I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
bro, I could be doing YouTube stuff right now and it's slow as shit right now. Like, why am I here? Like that started to settle in.
Bro.
I'm like,
That
dude,
is
like I
how
feel
I
like I'm wasting
am.
time right now.
That is how I am with my job right now, bro. Cause like when it's slow, it is oh my God. Like I'm literally sitting there, bro, like counting the minutes, bro. Like I'll be on like YouTube or some shit watching videos. Like I'm like, bro, like I am so unproductive right now. So like I'll try to do stuff like because obviously like it's on the military computer on a military network. So certain shit
Right.
I just can't get access to. So like certain things I can't do for the channel that I would like to do, but I can't do
Right.
them at work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, bro, I could be getting so much done right now, but I'm sitting here bullshitting. I'm getting paid good to bullshit. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like,
Right.
bro, I could be doing
Right.
so much more productive stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if I
Right.
gave the channel when I'm like, if I gave my channel the hours that I give my job, in addition to the hours I give my channel, I have no doubt in my mind we would, one, be over 100K subscribers, and two, the money would be making twice as much as what I make there at my full-time job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but it is what it is, man. It's a means to an end right now, until
Right.
I can get to a point where I can do this full time. You know what I'm saying? And then that is gonna end up being a means to an end. And then because I feel like everything in life should be stepping stones. Like I don't have any intention to be a reaction channel for my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll
Right.
take the reaction channel, I'll take the notoriety I get from it, the money I get from it, I'll invest that in something else, and then I'll either do a different YouTube channel where I do different types of content. You know what I'm saying? Just to
Right.
keep it going and to keep it fresh, because I don't want to burn myself out on one thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I enjoy watching anime. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, okay, do I want to do this full time for the rest of my life as a chore, or it becomes a chore? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah, that was something. I mean, with that, like, so when you guys watch series and stuff,
mhm.
do you guys ever have a series where like, do we still want to keep watching this? Like, does it ever get, like, do you ever, because I know I get that way where I'm like, I'm not watching this no more. Like, I'm like, I can't do it,
Mhm.
guys. Like, do you guys ever get to that point?
Yeah. So we were watching The Disastrous Life of Psyche K, and
Okay.
it just was not hitting at all, bro. Like there was episodes where it would, but there was more episodes where it wasn't, and it just became like, bro, like what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like people were, like other dudes up here were just like not feeling it. I could tell they weren't feeling it, and that messes up with the energy in the room because when you're reacting with multiple people, if multiple people's energy is off and like you're the only one like enjoying it, it just feels weird. Like and it's just
Right.
like uncomfortable almost. So it's like, all right, what do y'all want to do? Do y'all want to drop it or not? And it was across the board. Yeah, let's drop it. So we dropped that series. Right now we're watching Cautious Hero,
Mm.
and one of the dudes isn't feeling it. And it's like, okay, we still got three of us that are feeling it though. So we'll kind of just play it by ear and get it knocked out. And it's only 12 episodes, so it's not like it's
Right.
a huge commitment. Because Saki K was like 50 some episodes. Cause it was like 2 seasons, and they were both 2 cours each. So it was like 24,
Oh
25
shit.
episodes per season.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, like the first we got almost all the way through the first core in season two, and then we just dropped it at that point. So
Mm.
it's not a bad show. Don't get me wrong. It's
Right.
something cool like you throw on like before you about to go to bed or something, or if you want a quick laugh. You know what I'm saying? You could throw something quick on,
Right.
but that's 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 the extent of my involvement in that anime, in my opinion. But yeah, we have been to that point.
Bro, that it's tough because like for me it was the first, I think the first big one was JoJo for me, that people were like, no, 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 you got to get to this season. I'm like, guys, like look, I respect
Yeah.
that you guys love this, right? But there's a couple of
Hmm.
things for me where if I'm not enjoying it at all, right? If I'm like, I don't know where the hell this is going, this isn't fun for me. You guys are coming here to get my reaction. And if you guys love it and I'm just dogging this thing, nobody's having fun. Like
They
you're
gonna
not
hate you,
having fun.
right?
You're not having fun watching me watch it, and I'm not having fun watching it.
Hmm.
So it's like,
Right.
what are we doing here? Like this is mutually a bad scenario. Um, and I was
Yeah,
just like, oh
man.
look, I can't. One of the other ones that I had to stop that wasn't as popular. One, it didn't really perform well on the channel, so I just started doing on Patreon, and then at that, I was just like,
Hmm.
I don't know. It was Code Geass. I couldn't. I was like, look, this isn't for me, bro. Like,
Oh man, for real?
yeah, like it got to like I was like episode 20 something. I was like, guys, like I was like, it's just taking too long. Like I'm not feeling it. I wasn't really feeling the main character at a certain point. I was like, you know what, this isn't for me. And then I think the last one that really got people like, what was ReZero? I think that anime is trash. I think that anime is fucking garbage.
Oh
Um,
man,
I think
where did
it's
you
I think
stop
it's
at?
garbage. Season two. I don't know what episode it was, but bro, it felt like playing Fallout 76. That's what it felt like. I was like, where the
Oh
fuck
man.
is this story going? He has no purpose besides simping over this chick. You keep getting in the same scenarios with reskinned villains. Like, I don't know how many times you're gonna walk into a place and the next thing you know, your body's all over the place. You're like, oh, what happened? Like, bro, what? You don't ever ask no questions, ever. Who comes into a new world and asks no questions about what the fuck is going on? I was like, I can't with this character. I can't. I just couldn't. I was like, look, guys, they're like, it gets crazy. I'm like, that's awesome. But the first season took hella long to get somewhere, and then it got somewhere,
Yeah, no, I
and
did.
then the second season, I'm like, why are we still nowhere? Like, what is this character's purpose? Right? I was like, I can't. I couldn't do it, bro. And then they slept best girl, and I was like, you know, all right, I'm good. REM sleep. I was like, all right, I'm good.
Rem, yeah.
So
Bro, now that you mentioned that, that's actually kind of wild because her name is Rem and she's sleep. So Rem sleep, and you go like a REM sleep. That's actually a dope little double entendre. That's fire. I didn't think about that, but yeah, bars. But no, I can see that with ReZero because like you said, the first season took forever to make any kind of progress, and it was seeming like
right,
okay, like you know that you have the ability to return back to a certain checkpoint, so you should be doing things like taking lessons learned from when you died last time and the path it took and
right,
doing shit differently to get yourself to a different, perspective or scenario. You know what I'm saying? And it
right,
just seems like a hopeless anime. Like it has its moments where it gets like good, like it's like, okay,
right,
he's doing better now, he's progressing, and then he just takes 5 steps back. So it's like, yo, what the fuck, bro?
right.
So I can see that. I understand the frustration with it for sure.
Yeah,
But I
I
think
just
also people need to go ahead.
it might be a personality thing because I Subaru reminds me of me when I was like between 19 and 23, where I thought I knew what the fuck I was doing. I was super confident. I got this, and then I found out I didn't have it. I didn't have shit. I was not it, right? Not the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So when that aha moment came, I was like, all right, I need to level up. I need to learn. I need to really, get out my ego, level my shit up for real, right? So like getting
Mm-hmm.
into that, I'm like, you become aware and then you start to level yourself, right? All right,
Yeah.
cool. I need to start bettering myself or whatever. So seeing him keep doing the same shit over and over started to really irk me. I'm like, bro, like my guy, like it irks me, and I started to get impatient with him. So I was like, I don't know if I could do this anymore.
Nah, I got you. That makes sense. Yeah, no, I feel that, man. I feel like a lot of people need to, I guess, dissociate themselves from the anime because I feel like a lot of people get overly zealous and overly passionate when it comes to anime. Like they defend it as if they made the anime and as if they're getting cut a check for defending the anime. I'm like, all right, bro. Like at some point you have to realize that people's opinions are gonna be their opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't be
Facts.
mad at you because you don't like Boruto because it's full of fucking filler. And depending on who you talk to, they're gonna be like, oh, well, it's anime canon. In my opinion, I don't buy that shit. If it's not in the manga, it's not canon. I don't care if the author said it's anime canon. I don't care, bro. I'm not trying to see that shit. You know
Bro,
what I'm saying? I'm not trying to
bro.
see that shit. So, and then if you go on Twitter, the Boruto stands will try and eat you alive. You know what I'm saying? With their ratios and stuff like that. People get their existence validated through Twitter likes nowadays. So, I mean, whatever gets you off.
Bruh.
But at the end of the day, people have different opinions, and if they don't like it, cool, move on. I'm not gonna get upset because Naruto's my favorite anime. If you don't like Naruto, that's perfectly fine with me. I have no qualms. I don't like One Piece. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But because I
Right.
don't like One Piece, you shouldn't jump down my throat for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Have you watched One
So
Piece?
I watched it when it was first airing. So I watched it when it was. I think I stopped at like 100 something. And just because for me, I have a couple reasons why I don't like it. One
Mm.
is more recent, and it's because of how long it is. So obviously, it's a daunting task to catch up to that at this point in
Right.
time.
Right.
Unless I think they have like movies that summarize like events that
Mm-hmm.
led up to current time. So I think there's like 3 of them. So you could do that, but so one, the length. Two, I don't like art style. The art style really bothers me.
That's
Like the
fair.
character designs and stuff like that. Like I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the art style. If I don't visually like it, like there are some episodes I saw like the Sakuga moments and stuff like that the anime had. Those were dope. But the art style just still I can't do it, bro. Like I hate the art style. I cannot do it. And then third is, in my opinion, like it should not take over 1,000 episodes to tell a good story. You know what I'm saying? Like I just, in my opinion, a good story should not take that long. Like I get it. Like they're like, okay, well, it's about the journey, it's about the adventure, the world building, seeing all the different characters and interactions and stuff. And I get that. That's fine. But I've I've seen anime where they do really great world building and they wrap it up in a concise manner. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like One Piece is just
Right.
kind of dragging it out at this point. You know what I'm saying? Um, and yeah, and then the fourth one is I just don't really like pirates. Pirates don't really gravitate. I don't really gravitate towards pirates. You know what I'm saying? That's why I kind of like gravitated
Right.
towards Naruto opposed to One Piece. 'Cause I feel like ninjas are just cooler than pirates. You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree a
that's
thousand
just
percent.
that's just me.
I agree a
Yeah,
thousand percent.
like I would absolutely be a ninja before I become a pirate. And then
Facts.
it pisses me off. I'm like, bro, like you're a pirate and you can't fucking swim because you ate this gum fruit or
Yep.
whatever demon fruit you eat. You know what I'm saying? So now
Right.
you can't swim, and the whole basis of your existence, or at least like I'd say 70% to 60 to 70% of your existence is on water. So you're literally like at a disadvantage at any point in time. If your ship gets sunk,
Yep.
you're done, bro. Like that's it. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I think, and a lot of those points are, and I think it's back to your point before is you either, there's certain things you're going to like and certain things you're just not, right? My brother's the same way. He's like, I don't like the art style. It's too many episodes and I don't like pirates. When I first got introduced to One Piece, it was 2013. I was in Vegas still. And one of the guys that was at the Apple store was like, bro, you gotta watch One Piece. I'm like, bro, I'm not a pirate guy, bro. I don't want to scurvy. I'm cool. I'm good. Like, I'm good, bro. Yeah, I'm like,
uh,
I'm all right with that. And he was just telling me, like, you gotta watch it. And I just got to the point, I was like, fuck it. Like, all right, I'll entertain the idea, right? And so I started, and he was like, look, don't watch the English dub. There's a 4 Kids dub. It's terrible. Watch the Japanese and I was like, all right, cool. So I watched that. And
mm,
and it took it took a little bit of time. Like it took maybe 20 some episodes for it to really start to get moving. And I was like, oh, this is fire.
mm,
And yeah, you first watch it, you're like, yo, this art style is mad old. Like it just felt really old, like the animation style, but the character design was really weird. You're kind of like, okay, like this is not aesthetically pleasing.
yeah,
So I completely understand that. I think to your point as well, the stories don't need to be that long. And I think the like looking at things like AOT or something along the lines of that's a shorter, more concise story. You're like, oh, like this is an amazing whatever in this amount of episodes. That's dope. I think it's equally interesting though to have a story that is that long that can still tell a story. Because there's a lot of shows that just keep going and you're just like, why is this show still on? Like why is the show still on? It
bro.
should have been off 3 seasons ago. Uh
Case closed. You have you seen that anime or heard about anime Case Closed?
mm-mm.
So that anime has been out longer than One Piece has. I'm like,
Mm.
bro, how many fucking cases are there in the world that you have over 1,000 episodes to solve? I don't understand it. There is not enough cases in the world, fictional or non-fictional, for you to be having this many episodes, bro. It doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing for me where, after you get to a certain point in One Piece, you're just like, oh, I love the story there. But I can understand
Mm,
like the task if you like anime and seeing that many episodes, you're just like, fuck, like, do I? Because like you could say like, and I said all the time, like, look, don't worry about trying to catch up, just watch it. And that's easier said than done because as an anime fan, you're like, I want to be current. You want to be within the culture now. You want to be caught up with everybody and talk about the shit. And so
right.
I understand that side of it too, of like looking at it like, dude, there's like 900 some episodes. Like, I don't know if I want to go down that path. That's 16 days
Yeah.
of nonstop watching. So I'm like, I don't know if I could do
Hmm.
that. That's an investment for sure. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
So
tough one.
yeah, man. It's definitely a tough one. I will say though that One Piece, obviously it's as big as it is for a reason. You know what I'm saying? People really like it. People
Right.
really are, involved with the characters and stuff like that. And the reason why the story is so long is because it's multiple stories within the story. It's not just one linear story. Like obviously you have
Right.
the linear story of okay, Luffy wants to become the Pirate King. You know, he wants to attain the One Piece. However, there's all these other micro stories that are happening within the grand
Right.
scheme of things that the show focuses on and expounds upon the world building and expounds upon different races within the show and stuff like that. So I
Right.
get that. So it is interesting as far as a world is concerned. Like I will say One Piece has probably the best world building, if not the best world building out of all the animes, just because it has to, because they expound upon so much, all the different
Yeah,
islands, all the
for
different
sure.
people, all that stuff. So I will give it that. Like I'm not gonna sit here and shit on the anime because I'm not saying it's a bad anime, and I will never call that anime bad if I have not watched it in its entirety because I can't give an opinion on something if I haven't watched it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I used to not like Hunter. I used to hate Hunter x Hunter, bro. Because
Really?
I thought the pacing was bad. Yeah, yeah, I thought the pacing was bad. I thought I just like I don't see the hype, bro. Like this shit is mid, bro. And then I was like, you know what? We'll do reactions to it. I've never watched it all the way through from start to finish. Like I saw some fights and stuff, and I was like just not impressed because I grew up watching Naruto fights, bro. Like Naruto has the best fights in anime in my opinion. Like the choreography, like the way everything is done is fire. Like obviously there's some contenders coming into the play now with Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen,
Right.
where obviously animation evolves, so you're gonna be looking at things from a fresh lens and
Right. Got a high
adding different
school. Right.
perspectives. Got a high school, yeah. Like I mean, a lot of these battles shown are evolving as far as like fight sequences.
Right.
So
As they
prior to
would.
that, though, Naruto was like, yeah, as they should too. But prior to that, Naruto was the best of the best in my opinion. So comparing like Naruto fights with like Hunter fights, I was like, nah, fam, this ain't doing it for me. But
Hmm.
I do know that going into a fight, there's a lot more than just the fight itself. Like there's like the emotional tension that built up prior to the fight. There's the character backgrounds. Like these characters might be beefing, and you want to, you know they have a long trend of history, and then they finally clash, and it's like, okay, this is what I've been waiting for. So there's a lot more that goes into it than just the aesthetic of the fight alone. So I was like, let me sit down, watch it all the way through, and then I'll give my opinion on Hunter. And I'm loving it so far. We're almost done, man. We're at we just did 113 and 114 today.
Mm.
So and it's 148 episodes, so we only got about 34 more
Yeah,
to
you're in
go.
the ant.
So
You're in the ant arc right now. You're definitely in the
yeah,
Chimera ant
bro,
arc
it's
right now.
crazy, man. Listen,
Right.
bro. Netero and Kiwa's grandpa pulled up, bro. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy, bro. That's one of those moments I was talking about because it's like Netero acts up, Kiwa's grandpa gets busy, so just seeing them appear, it just made like it made your whole experience just right there, seeing all that shit transpire because the Zodiac family is crazy as far as like assassins, and
Right.
then seeing the grandpa pull up, it's like, yo, they about to get busy. And then now from what I just saw, the grandpa sent Netero and the Ant King Mayroom off to go fight. So I don't know what the grandpa's about to go do now. So I guess I'll find out next episode. But yeah, man, it's getting
Yeah, bro.
crazy. It's getting fire. I definitely like it. I definitely enjoy it now. So
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. Yeah.
yeah.
Meruem he is such a dope, dynamic antagonist, bro. Like he is an
Hmm.
interesting character. Really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, because like, when he first pulls up, you know what I'm saying? Like he's just ruthless, man. Like he's literally like because at first I was like, he's not evil because he just doesn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? He just got born, he
Right.
probably doesn't know any better. And then like I think like a few episodes after he first pulled up, he was like killing people in the capital or whatever, and he was like, yeah, I can kill people because I'm the strongest. I was like, okay, nah, he's evil. He knows what he's doing at this point. So
Hmm.
he's just ruthless. And then when you introduce I can't remember her name, but the blind chick that plays Gungi,
Right.
when she gets introduced, you know what I'm saying? He's like, okay, I cannot defeat this person at all. And then when she gets, attacked by the bird and you see him kill the bird, you're starting to see him develop compassion and a care
Hmm.
for somebody. Even his most loyal subjects, his guards, he doesn't give a fuck about them, bro. He's like, look, I don't
Right.
even want y'all around me, bro. like,
Right.
so yeah,
Well,
he's definitely an interesting character.
he respects strength, and
Right.
it's not in that moment. It's like it's not just a physical strength. Like I can't defeat her, so she's
Hmm.
mentally stronger than me. I respect that. Like there's a respect there
Right.
that he has for strong, for like, oh, you're one of them ones. I was like, okay. So I
Yeah.
think I think that's really interesting. Like that shit is fire. That shit is fire. Yeah, that's a dope anime, bro. Speaking of Hunter x
Yeah.
Hunter, I'm just now starting Yu Yu.
Oh, nice. Have you ever watched it before? Like, is it your first time?
I've only seen episodes because when I first saw it, it was when Dragon Ball was on Toonami. So and Dragon Ball was like what I was
Oh,
on.
yeah.
So at that time, I was like, I see it every once in a while, but I never really watched it from start to finish to really understand the story and what was really going on.
Hmm.
So this is like my first like actual all the way through run. So I only seen the first
Nice.
episode, but
Okay.
I'm locked in first episode. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. Like, okay, I'm with this. I'm with this a lot. So yeah,
Yeah, you is definitely one of those like OG isekai concepts. Because some people do consider it isekai because he got killed and all that stuff.
right.
But I'm not gonna talk anymore about it. But yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho is dope, man. Obviously same author as Hunter, but are you watching it dubbed or subbed?
I'm watching it dubbed. So
My guy.
so
Yeah,
so and look, and I've said this multiple times, bro. If one is better, it's better. Like let's just keep it a
yeah.
stack. And I think a lot of people just default, oh, we'll sub over dub always. Like that's not necessarily true because I've actually
Mm,
seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood in Japanese, and the English dub is better. Period. It's
yeah.
just a better dub. So I was like,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, there's some animes where it's better just to watch a dub. Like Cowboy Bebop, in my opinion, is a great dub. Yu Yu
Oh, it's a
Hakusho,
great dub,
obviously. I
bro.
think Naruto's a good dub. Yeah, Dragon Ball. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm just so used to hearing it, but I feel like the voice actors kind of do that very well. As far as like just from
Yeah.
the even screaming alone, it's like it doesn't sound like weird. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not one of those like sub over dub guys. I'm sub over dub just by default because obviously we're reacting to
Right.
stuff that's coming out as it comes out in Japan. And I feel like a lot of
Correct.
people kind of just that are in the anime community kind of get accustomed to it. So that's why they say sub over
Right.
dub, and they won't even give the dub a chance to listen to it. Um,
Hmm.
well, I went back and listened to Fire Force dub. By the way, it's trash. I hate that dub. It doesn't
Yo,
work for me,
well,
bro.
Fire. Okay, we gotta talk about Fire. You've seen all of Fire Force.
Uh-oh. I read the manga for Fire Force. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm in season 2 right now. I think I just watched
Hmm.
episode 20.
Hmm.
And first season I really enjoyed. Right,
Hmm.
it was a little slow build, but I was digging the moments and stuff. This second season's
Yeah.
hard to watch, bro. It's hard to watch, bro. Like it's so slow. I'm like,
I got
why?
you.
Like there's just episodes I'm like, this could have been consolidated into like one episode. Like, why did I take 3 episodes to do this? This could have been one episode. And
Yeah.
for me, it's there's I'm not gonna say people should or shouldn't do a thing. It's just for me watching it and us getting accustomed to how animes are now,
Hmm.
you're fighting for attention now. So, which is why it's like, all right, well, if you're not like Jujutsu Kaisen did something really, really interesting where every episode, damn near, I think there's only 2 episodes where this wasn't the case, but every episode you had world building, drama, action, and comedy in every episode. I think
Yeah.
minus the baseball episode. But I guess you could call the action being the actual baseball of itself. Like, but almost every episode had those 4 elements in it to where you felt
Hmm.
something was moving. There was some like, what's going on? There was a fight of some sort, but it was always grabbing you, always. In Fire
Hmm.
Force, I'm just like, why is this taking so long to get to nowhere? I'm like, where are we going right now? And so it finally got to a moment where shit started to really pop off. Dude got his head chopped off by one of the chicks in all
Oh, you're
white,
on
and I was
that
like,
episode.
oh, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
we're here, we're here now. I was like, okay, like this is where stakes are involved, where it's like, okay, like stuff is moving now to where it's not just this weird, ambiguous journey that we're going on. It's like, oh, like we have a real opposition. There's something really opposing our main characters, in search of truth. Okay, there's something here where I feel like we're moving somewhere. And I'm not sure if it's just the sight of having a real opposition that I need visually or emotionally of like, all his lost moments. But it just
Right.
feels like this season is taking a really long time to get to that. But what is your take? Because I know obviously you enjoy Fire Force a lot, and I think it has arguably, not even arguably, I think it's probably the best anime when it comes to sound design. It's fucking incredible. But like,
Yeah.
what's been like your take on Fire Force as a whole? Like, how are you vibing with the show?
So Fire Force for me, after season one, I went and read the manga because I was just so curious about what, because the mystery aspect of it really gets me involved because it's like, okay, who are the white clad? Why are they, trying to do this with, Shinra and his brother Sho? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I started finding out about the pillars, and I started finding out about the cataclysm, the great cataclysm that had happened originally, and how the world was like split and stuff like that. Like all this crazy stuff that was going on. There is a lot of exposition. There's a lot of exposition. I will say that in season two. Season two is definitely a slower one, but I personally don't mind exposition in the anime if it interests me. So the world of
Right.
Fire Force, the mystery of Fire Force, the organizations, and all these things going on in the background grabbed my interest, and that's why I watch it. And that's honestly why I like ReZero too, because there's a lot of mystery elements and a lot of like what the fuck is happening that you want to
Mm-hmm.
find out. So even just the dialogue heavy episodes, I was fully invested because I was like, I felt like I was learning something more about the story and the world as I was watching it. So same thing with Fire Force. And then I will tell you this: season two is slow, but season three, I promise you, you will have none of that. It will be straight action, literally the entire time. Just with the direction the story's going in, the manga's wrapping up now, but it's insane, bro. Like, and I love the parallels that exist in the anime too, because there's so I'm trying to think. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know if that happens after your episode that you're on, but basically you find no, okay, no, it happened before because I remember when Burns was about to fight Joker and Benimaru, he was explaining to them
Right.
how
Right. Right.
Raph was the first or
Yep.
whatever wasn't really himself. He was actually somebody in disguise and basically lied to them about the religion, made the religion. So that parallel alone, like how they have like the religion integrated with the series and like how there's not really a separation of church and state, like how they have like the first
Right.
company is like church and state, you know what I'm saying? And then like
Right.
each company has their own things. And it just draws similarities to real life, how like we have like religion and depending on what your belief system is, some religion, well, all religion is man-made obviously, but the fact that this one was man-made and used to manipulate people in a negative way, you see that happen sometimes with religions, or you've seen like other isolated religions to pop
Right.
up and do that to form a cult and to make people follow you. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Mm.
it's just such a, in my opinion, a deep anime because it's more than just action. It's more than just all that shit. Like there's a lot of exposition factors that need to be expounded upon in order to understand the depth of the world and all the things that go on in the background, in my opinion. So, but season three will have some of that exposition, but it's mostly just action, dude. Like it's really good. You're gonna enjoy season three, especially if you like season two and the sound design and that stuff. And obviously, the animation is fire. Shouts out to David Productions because they killed it with the animation for that, bro.
Yeah, that I think that was something that I really enjoyed about the story built, the world building itself as well. That political, with the tied in with the religion and stuff. I think it's just some of the set pieces, some of like the moments. I'm like, man, like these two episodes could have been an episode. Like, and I think that for me, like just seeing the fat in the episodes, I'm like, that's like my only gripe of the show is like the pacing. I feel like sometimes just take, like, we had one episode where the entire episode my man was trying to he was trying to convince Arthur that his sword needed to, like, oh, it's like you're pulling it out of the stone and blah blah. I was like, bro, you can't just say, yo, we need your help, stab this bitch so we can shut this shit down. Like, the fuck are we doing? The whole episode was trying to convince him that he was a king. Like, bro, I'm like, this is the
All
stupidest
right.
shit. Like, You're trying to save some shit right now, and you're playing games with him so he can get involved. Like, come on, bro. Like that shit. I was like, oh my god, bro. Like this is a real serious scenario. You got this kid and this monster right now, and we're doing this. Like that's what we're doing right now. Like, I feel like there's so many contradicting things that irritate me like that. That I'm just like, bro, like what's going on? And again, it could just be me, but that things like that, I'm like, yo, that could have been a quarter of an episode. Like, why did we spend an entire episode trying to convince him that he was on a serpent, or he's trying to pull a sword out of a stone right now? Like, why are we doing this? Like that, what's going on? What's really good?
I got you. Yeah.
But
So yeah, no, the thing with Arthur, that never really changes as far as like because Arthur draws his power from his imagination. So if he feel
mm-hmm.
it's like the analogy, I guess, or the saying, if you look good, you feel good. You know what I'm saying? So in his
Right,
mind, if he looks good, his strength increases. So it's an
right,
interesting character. I will say that because you
right,
do see him doing things, and it's like, what's the point of this? But there is a point. You know what I'm saying? It's just trying to
hundred
see it from
percent,
his lens, which is having to drop your
hundred
IQ to see
percent,
it. But I understand.
bro. It's he's the what's his dude name from Demon Slayer? He's that character. He's why am I brain from his name right
Nisu?
now? Yes, he's Zenetsu from Demon Slayer, where he's like, yeah, he has this weird situational ridiculous power. It's like, okay, you get really saucy when
Mm-hmm.
this particular thing happens, but we have to go through your
Yep.
weirdness to get it. And which when the moments happen, you're like, okay, this is dope. But you're just like, fuck, like. And I think for me, it's again, I agree with you. But it's a subjective like or dislike, and I think that's the thing that I
Right.
think that when viewers watch me, they're like, oh, well, you don't get it. It's like, no, I get it. I just don't care for it. Like I understand the purpose
Yeah.
of it.
Yep.
I personally just don't like it. And I think it's like, guys, like there's a difference between me saying, yo, this anime is garbage. This isn't making any sense versus I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's so strange. It's such a strange thing that people can't, I don't want to say they can't discern the difference, but I think maybe they're just too attached to the property.
Too attached. They're too attached, bro. Because that's my whole thing. Like, just because I don't like something doesn't mean I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my whole issue
Right.
with the Gabby situation in Attack on Titan. I understand her situation. I understand why she's behaving the way she's behaving. I still don't like her. And that's
Right.
fine. Even though I read the manga,
Right.
I still don't like her. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Right.
that is perfectly
Right.
fine. It's not. It has nothing to do with my lack of empathy because at the end of the day, we're watching a show.
Right.
It's an anime.
Right.
It's not real life. If this was a real person in a real
Correct.
situation, then yes, I would feel differently because I would have to sit there and empathize with the actual human being. But this is a show, and people need
Right.
to learn to differentiate a show from real life because some people actually I'm convinced some people believe they live in an anime world. Like, and if you say anything to slight their perception of the world, they just start attacking you and saying, oh, you don't have the
Right.
mental capacity to understand. Look, I'm pretty sure my IQ is higher than yours. I just don't give a fuck. I don't personally like that character, regardless of all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care.
Facts.
Listen, we don't care.
And that's
All right.
well, me and Soshi, when we were reading it, it was the same. Like, damn, like, okay, she's being programmed X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, conditioned to believe a certain thing. And we've seen this with prejudices in the past and all that. So we understand. I still don't fuck with Gabby. I'm not like, yo, man, yo, Gabby, you a real one. No, you're not. Like, but at the same time, you see the parallels with her and Eden. You're like, oh, like you're like another Eden.
Right.
Like, he's been fed certain things about you guys and X, Y. So you are a product of your environment type of vibe, right? But it doesn't mean I still got to vibe with you just because I understand that. Like, oh, well, she's still a good person. Like, okay, perspective wise, sure. But, okay. And I think the only thing that for me that is interesting about that is if Attack on Titan started at the beginning of season 4, right? If it started at the beginning of season 4, you would actually like Gabby. that to me is the brilliance of the show. It's like if it started at season 4 and all you saw was the Eldians and the Marlians doing their thing and, fighting against, preparing for this Titan war or whatever, you would be on Gabby's squad. Like, damn, like they came and attacked your people and killed your family, your friends. Yeah. Like you would feel the same as you felt for Eden because it's almost the same story. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
But because we saw from Eden's perspective and we know their story, we're like, I don't want to hear none of that. Like you're like, I'm cool. Like I'm good. Like you on a power trip vibe right now. Like
yeah, bro.
You on some weird prejudice shit. Like it's real. It's so interesting. It's so interesting. But I'm with you though.
Yeah, I mean my whole thing with Gabby though, like she's like people say, oh well, she's brainwashed. She was a child soldier. So was Falco, and he gets it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not only just that, because it's like, okay, everybody's different. I get that. But Gabby got put in a situation where she's around Eldians. They treated her with kindness. They treated her with indifference. They showed her compassion. She had one put their neck out for her, and she was still in this mindset. I'm like, bro, there's no excuse at this point. You cannot be this brainwashed in the world. There's no excuse.
It becomes stubborn.
You know what I'm saying? Falco, because I mean, Falco, he knew before he even had any Eldian showing compassion. Excuse me. Facts. He knew that before any Eldian showed him compassion. When Eren was sitting there talking to Reiner, he was like, "Damn, that's crazy. I could see why you feel like that now." You know what I'm saying? Off a conversation, bro.
Facts.
That's it. Even though Eren betrayed him, in a sense, he still understood. And that lack of understanding that Gabby has makes me think, okay, well, she's an idiot, bro. I'm sorry. At this point, that's just what it is. You know?
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man. But and again, the fact that we feel so passionately about her is a testament to how well she's written. Because if a character can't make you feel no type of way, they probably aren't very well written. You know what I'm saying,
bro? So. Those are those characters that I forgot who I was talking to about something similar. But like Cersei is one of those characters in Game of Thrones where you hate her, but you like love the character. You're like, damn, bitch, you a bitch for real. But like, God, I like watching. Like you're just like, oh, like there's something about that character, right? And again, to your point, I hated Denzel in Training Day. I was like, man, you a bitch for this, bro. Like, but you love how like you just like him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's written so well where he gets under your skin. Like, bro, like why are you doing him like that? Like, what's really like? I agree. Like if you can get that emotional reaction out of somebody, out of a fictitious villainous or a misunderstood character or what, like there's something about that I'm like, yes, like that's awesome. That's an awesome feeling for sure.
Yeah. Right. No, definitely, man, for sure.
I think one of the things too, and we were talking about like, going back to like the whole filler stuff and episodes being long, and I think this is one of those things that when we were talking about Boruto, because I had people hit me up when I asked like, yo, is there any filler? Because I actually started it well after the anime had actually started, so I was like, I'm gonna start watching Boruto, blah blah, and I was like, yo, what's the filler? Right? I was like, what's the filler? Because I know Naruto is known for having a lot of fucking filler. So I was like, you know what? What's the filler? And like, oh, there's no filler. The author said there's no filler. I was like, look, guys, time out. No producer or author of a show is going to say, hey, guys, don't tune in this week because it's a filler episode. They're not going to advertise their show that way. So basically what I'm saying is what is on paper in the manga and how is that represented in the show? Like, where are those episodes lined up? And I agree. Like, there's a good amount of filler in Boruto. I mean, there's characters that don't even exist in the manga that exist in the anime. Like, you're just like, oh shit! Like these characters don't even exist in the manga. Like, you're like, oh shit, which is cool for the anime. Like, the anime is doing its own thing, and some of the arcs were. Wow, this is really long. And then there was other arcs that were really good. I was like, oh, this is a really cool arc. But being a fan of Naruto and the Naruto series, for you, that being like your number one, like that's your jam, right? Like that's like the GOAT for you. Like watching Boruto, like how how is it got like how do you feel about the progression of the universe? It's not Naruto's story, but the universe of Naruto. How do you feel Boruto is handling that now?
Um, so there are certain issues that I have with the series. For example,
Mm-hmm.
Naruto and Sasuke, strongest ninja in the ninja world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting their asses worked right now, and I get it. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is a testament to how strong Jigen is, or whatever. All right, cool, I get that, but there's just certain moments
Right.
where it's like, wait, I'm sorry, are you caught up or?
I read the manga, so yeah, I've been caught up. I'm
Okay, you read the
ahead of the
okay,
anime. Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
All
I'm
right,
Gucci.
cool. All right, so for example, the situation with Delta, right? When he was fighting Delta,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, cool. We get to see the Taijutsu and stuff. You know what I'm saying? The anime. I was like, all right, this is cool. I'm not mad at it. I'm not saying it's mid. But it's like they intentionally nerf Naruto to make the enemy stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like Naruto, we
Mm-hmm.
have seen him on numerous occasions he's moved faster than the Raikage. Even in Boruto, we saw him move faster than the train to catch up and stop it. Why you mean to tell me when Delta throws Himawari up in the air, you can't teleport up in the air and grab her and come back to the ground? You have to jump in slow motion to go grab her. Like just certain things, like that is an intentional nerf. He was written to not be able to get to her in time, so that there could be a level of impending doom. Like, oh, Naruto's in trouble. We have to, these
Right.
guys are really strong. I feel like they intentionally nerfed Naruto and Sasuke to make the enemy seem stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like the Jigen thing, like dude's strong as shit. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that that's an ass pool. But
Right.
and there's just some plot points that I don't really understand either, because like the whole timeline when Madara had got resurrected and was basically trying to get the infinite Tsukiyomi to come into play, where was Jigen at? You know what I'm saying? Like there's another Otsuki and Kaguya that's here trying to take the divine tree for which is what you came to the planet for in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Where were
Mm-hmm.
you at when this was going on in this sequence? Where was your organization at during the sequence? You mean tell me you couldn't send these guys to go, hey, go stop Madara, go stop Kaguya. We gotta make sure that they don't get the divine tree. You know what I'm saying? Because if they would have pulled up when all this was going on, they would have worked Naruto and Sasuke at the time because it was more of them and they were tired, and they would have got the divine tree, so they would have completed their mission. You know what I'm saying? Like, so where were they at in this whole timeline and sequence of things? And it's just like the characters now, like the next generation, is getting written to. Obviously, you want to, all right, cool, we want Boruto to surpass Naruto. I get that, but it's like, bro, like you're setting him up with like just like insane asinine amounts of power at his age. He doesn't even have any QB chakra, bro. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, there's just certain things that for continuity don't line up for me that I don't really like. Like I like Naruto, and I like the fact that they kept him in the manga as long as they have so far. Um, Obviously, I would like to see more Naruto, but it's like for me, the series ends at Naruto Shippuden for me. You know what I'm saying? All this other shit is just extra for me. I'm just like, okay, cool. I'll watch and tune in every once in a while. The manga's good. Don't get me wrong. Like the manga's good, but again, there's just certain continuity points and certain things that I just can't personally get behind, or that I don't really like. Now I will say that there are certain things I do like. There was an arc in Boruto where he went back in the past and got to bond with Naruto when he was younger. That was super
That
dope.
was so good.
Yeah, yeah, that was fire. So I definitely appreciated that, just from seeing the
Mm.
differences in their childhoods, because I feel like that helped Boruto understand Naruto a lot more, because he saw how he grew up, he saw how he was as a kid, and
Correct.
it really drove the point home. Yeah. And Boruto is just a different character than Naruto is. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have any aspiration to become the Hokage. He kind of wants to do his own
Right.
thing. He wants to make his own name for himself. He doesn't want to follow in his father's footstep and be in his shadow, essentially. So I can appreciate that as well. Because like, okay, you want to do your own thing. You want to be unique. You want to have your own personality. You know what I'm saying? Because he does have his own
Right.
personality. And it's dope because like his struggle is different than Naruto's struggle. Like Naruto's struggle was I don't
Mm-hmm.
have any family. Boruto's struggle was I have
Right.
family, but they don't have time for me, or for the father at least. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because he's so busy with the Hokage duty. So it's relatable. You know what I'm saying, for certain people. Like some people might relate with Naruto
Yeah.
more, other people might relate with Boruto more, and I think that's a dope dynamic that they do offer. So there's pros and cons to it, man.
Yeah. I have a question too. Like, so with the points that you had brought up with, the nerfing of Naruto and Sasuke, and regardless if they give explanation of why they aren't there, like, obviously Naruto being the Hokage all the time, and he hasn't really had time to train and this and that and keep his stuff up, and even when like the first two Otsutsuki that popped up, Momo, like, was it Momoshiki and Kenshiki or whatever, like
Yeah.
when that whole situation came up, and he talked to Kurama like, hey, like, you good, like, I know we a little rusty, like, what, and he's like, I've been waiting, like, so even with those things, do you feel like it's not enough to, do you think it's just they tried to justify the nerfing, or do you feel like it's just not enough to justify the nerf, like how they try to explain stuff but it just isn't sitting, or like, what do you feel about like some of the stuff that they try to explain?
So when it comes to like stuff like that, I would personally say that obviously you can't have Naruto and Sasuke be the strongest ninjas in this timeline, because if they were, there would be no purpose for Boruto to even be here, because the story would still be focused on Naruto and Sasuke. You know what I'm saying? There would be
Right.
no threat because they would be the strongest ones. They could eliminate any and every threat. So I get it. You have, and again, like I said, you have to write them to be nerfed to make these enemies stronger, because you made Naruto
Right.
and Sasuke the pinnacle. They were the strongest that you could
Right.
be in that universe at that
Right.
time, as far as everybody else that existed. So you have to lower their power level to add,
Right.
like I said, that impending doom factor, and to make you feel like there's danger ahead. So it is what it is, and seeing them fight and get in action is always dope, because it brings back nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing them fight together is dope, and seeing them, interact as adults is just dope, because you know their story, you know their past, you know where they came from, you know what trials and tribulations they went through, how Sasuke left and Naruto was trying to bring him back, and that just perseverance ended up paying off in the end. So seeing the fruits of that labor is always gratifying. So I do like Boruto for that aspect as well. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, I mean, you have to do that with the show, because if you don't, you know what I'm saying? There would be no purpose of the show. There would be no
Right.
threat.
Right. Have you read all the manga? Are you caught up on the manga?
Yeah, I'm caught up on the manga.
So spoilers, guys. Spoilers, guys, for the manga stuff. We're gonna talk about some manga stuff really quick, because I want to ask you some questions about this and how you feel about it. Um, when we
Mm.
got into the car arc, uh, early on in the manga, you know, and that you started seeing, like, what the car was, what it looks like as far as like the diamond on the hand and all that. And I was just like, holy shit, like, I wonder if this has any tie into like what Sakura has, the diamond shit, like any of the curse things that we've seen, any of the markings that we've seen, whether it be with the first Okage, all, like, does this have any lineage to, because obviously the chakra stuff came from the Otsutsukis anyways, like that came from them. So is there any connection of that to some of these things that we've seen with like the thousand healings and all this other stuff? But I was like, okay, if they can really tie in the whole Otsuki thing, this could, whether it be, tying into like the Madara situation and all of this with, how ridiculous that end of the arc happened in the war arc, it could make that arc make way more sense when it comes to like Kaguya and, all that, because it kind of just went crazy power scale wise, just went up a cliff. But you know, the car arc itself has, I think, a ton of potential to really add to like this mystery around the Otsutsuki. Um, and when I first saw it, me and Toshi were reading, I was like, yo, like, this has potential, depending on how they write it and how they tie it into the lore of Naruto, could potentially be like a top 3 arc in the series. If they can tie things in that are unexpected to us, because the Otsutsuki kind of just popped up really at the end of Naruto. So you're just kind of like, all right, well, how does this like they try to weed it in with Zetsu and like, oh well, he's been here since the beginning, and like, oh okay, like, but there really hasn't been a real grounded, I guess, tie to the world. So reading the arc so far, seeing what's been at play, do you think it has potential to really become a great arc, or do you think it's dropping the ball? Like, how do you feel about the car arc?
So yeah, no, I definitely think it has potential, man. Like you said, definitely has potential to be like one of the best arcs because we're seeing something transformative where we're watching a series that was about ninjas turn into a series about aliens now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
aliens and intergalactic conquest essentially. Like they're going to these
right,
planets and they're which opens the question like, okay, if Otsuki go to planets and they harvest these fruits by putting people in infinite Tsukiyomi, how expansive is the universe in Naruto? You know what I'm saying? Because
right,
if it's going based off of just the regular solar system, Earth is the only place with humans. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So are these Otsuki from multiple thousands of light years away and different solar systems that have similar races? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
it brings up so many questions and really gives opportunity for world building and stuff like that. So, but that does also make it a double edged sword because you could also really drop the ball with it if you write it the wrong way and
right,
write yourself into a corner essentially. You know, you don't want to overwrite things that you wrote in the past. You know what I'm saying? So it's really going to be up to Kishimoto and his memory of what he wrote and seeing if he can have this get tied in with the original Naruto story and expound upon certain things to make it make sense. In regards to Kara being like similar to Sakura's thing, I want to say that it's like just more so of a matter of convenience as far as the shape is concerned, but
mm,
I mean, it could be like a discount Kara. You know what I'm saying? Without all the stuff that Kara has, you know what I'm saying? Because Kara
right,
obviously it helps you teleport. You can like manipulate certain parts of your body. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
Kara opens up a whole god complex of powers. You know what I'm saying? It was like when you first got
right,
introduced to Renegon and learned about the six paths of pain and how you had all these different powers and abilities that came with the Renegon. Same thing with the Kara. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Like there's just so many more opportunities that are available now as far as power is concerned. So I'm definitely curious to see how it's going to go because obviously in the first episode of Boruto they show that scene where the village is destroyed and Kawaki's like, you know, I'll send you to go see your father or whatever. So we're seeing the moments leading up to that, and in that opening scene, you see Boruto with Sasuke's cloak on. He has Naruto's old headband on. He has Sasuke's sword. So obviously something happens to Naruto and Sasuke, and it's like, okay, is it gonna be set up to where it's like, all right, because obviously we know that Momoshiki is in Boruto right now. Is it gonna be set up to where Momoshiki somehow transfers bodies and goes into Kawaki's body, and Boruto, in having Momoshiki in his body, learned how to use Kara better, and then, went off on a training arc, and village got destroyed, and now they're clashing again, and he's trying to get Kawaki back, kind of like a Naruto trying to get Sasuke back thing, but except in this case he's being controlled. You know what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm.
there's a lot of questions, man. Or is Jigen somehow gonna, or excuse me, Ishiki, is he somehow gonna come back? You know what I'm saying? Which I don't think is the case. I think Ishiki is like written off. I think he's done. But
Mm,
I'm definitely curious to see what direction they go in with this for sure.
right. Yeah, there's a lot of questions, bro, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. Um, it's a I think okay. How did you feel about like the whole Kurama situation, like him being, him dying, and after that like overpower attack? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, how was that as a Naruto fan being with the series? How do you think they handled that moment?
Oh man, it was tough, man. 'Cause I was prepared for Naruto to die. And
Right.
I was like, damn, I want to see my man go out like that. But writing off Kurama it still hurt either way because it's like you saw the journey that Naruto was on with Kurama, how Kurama just wanted to take over his body, how Kurama hated him, and then
Mm-hmm.
Naruto befriended him, and then they became like literally two peas in a pod. They were inseparable, well, literally
Right.
inseparable because he's within his body.
Right.
But it's just like they became brothers essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like Kurama had
Hmm.
Naruto's best interest in mind, and Naruto had Kurama's best interest in mind. So they looked out for each other. They cared about each other. So seeing that happen and seeing that last moment where he's like, have a good life, Naruto. I was like, damn, bro, that's tough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he sacrificed himself to save Naruto. Yeah. So I was like, damn, bro, that shit hurt. That shit hurt, bro. So when they animate that, your boy might shed a tear. I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, yo, we read that live, and it was definitely a heartfelt moment for sure. Because I agree with the story that you even just went through. Like the arc of like you don't even think of the arc of Kurama. You think the arc of Naruto. Like like so when you see that moment and just seeing where how Kurama was at the beginning with him. And then now him essentially, giving him this power to basically sacrifices himself to make sure that Naruto could, succeed in this fight. It's kind of wild to think about. It's like, damn, like you went from, like you said, wanting to take over his
Yeah,
body to now giving your life for him. Like it's kind of wild. That's a really dope, a dope story arc. And I think in that moment too, like the whole idea of Boruto taking out the Renegon. Uh, there's a obviously that was a moment of establishing that Boruto is now going to have to be the guy to, or him and his team are going to have to be the team to become, the heroes of the story now. Like you have the two strongest characters that just they both got severely nerfed in this quest now of like, for whatever reason, Sasuke still never wanted to get his other arm back. Okay. Sure. So now it's like you don't have an arm
right.
and you have one eye. Like, all right, like Naruto doesn't have Kurama anymore. So like, all right, you're now both nowhere near what you were. So I understand that, but I think that moment was kind of wild. Like that moment was. How did you feel about that? Like Boruto taking out his his teacher's Renegon. Like how did you feel about that? Like that was kind of wild.
That shit was crazy, bro. That shit was crazy. I wasn't expecting that at all. Like when that happened, I was like, bro, you've got to be shitting me. Like this is like the worst case scenario ever. Cause like Naruto's Kurama's gone. Sasuke's Rinnegan is gone. So the Rinnegan is gone. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like little play on words there, bars. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it's just like seeing all this shit go bad, like you said, is setting them up. Because again, you have to nerf them to build everybody else up. So it's like, okay, now we got
Yep.
Boruto and Kawaki and all them. They're gonna have to step up. They're gonna have to be those guys and gals to make sure that they can prevent this impending threat from happening. Because obviously, there's still a Ten Tails that they have under wraps, and the goal is still to get the divine tree. So it's like, all right, bro, like what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? We had to figure out where to go from here. So it's like, damn, bro. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen, and I'm curious to see how they're gonna write Naruto and Sasuke out of the series if they do, because it's still kind of up in the air as far as what happens to them or if anything happens to them in like a life or death sense. But yeah, I'm definitely curious about that. It's interesting, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it though. Like I said, the manga's good. I'm definitely fully invested. So yeah, I'm curious to see how
Mm.
they see it out.
So the I think Boruto for me, I'm with you. I think the manga is really good. Um,
Mhm.
is there any series now that you're just like, oh, this is a really fire series, like that you guys been watching, or any manga or webtoon you've been reading that's like, this is crazy. Like what's the new hotness for you?
Uh, so obviously, Jujutsu Kaisen was really good. Right now we're
Mm.
watching To Your Eternity, and that is fire in my opinion. Like that's one of the best
To
animes
Your
for this new
Eternity.
season, spring season,
I've
excuse
been
me.
hearing some
Yeah,
good
To Your
things,
Eternity.
bro.
Yeah, it's good. It's an emotional anime, but it's basically Without giving too much information out, it's basically an orb gets sent to Earth and has to learn how to be human and has to learn how to adapt. And there's obviously a looming threat that ends up getting introduced in the series, but it's a very emotional series. It makes you empathize with the characters a lot, and they really make you get attached to the characters. So I definitely recommend it. It's a good series for sure. But yeah, To Your Eternity is good. Tokyo Revengers is fire. It's like you're probably not gonna like this comparison, but it's like ReZero in a sense. It's like Erased and ReZero, except with like gangs in middle school. It sounds weird, I know, but it's
Right.
basically you're taking time travel and gangs and combining it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Dope concept, and the show is pretty dope too so far. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think I
man,
saw the
that's pretty
last
much it.
episode 12 last week. That was kind of crazy.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. So okay, yeah. So yeah, no, 12 was fucking insane. Yeah. So 13 is the most recent
Yeah.
one, but 12 was that shit was rough, bro. I was like, damn.
That shit was rough.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, man, that was crazy. But those are the series that we're watching right now. I'm definitely gonna check out this other one that came out. I think Wednesday. It's called Peach Boy something. Peach Boy something.
Okay.
Um, Animation looks really good. So just test the
Okay.
water, see what it's like, see what the fan base is like for that. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for now. What about you? You got anything on your radar?
Bro, a lot of the stuff that I've been watching has been like older stuff that had came out that people had been recommending me, and
Mm.
you know, I think because there's so much other stuff that I'm doing, like and I wish I could spend a lot of time just being on the anime side of things and watching a lot of stuff, and I'm limited to what I can watch and when I can watch it. So like I just got done with Assassination Classroom. I'm still watching Slime season 1 right now. Uh
Mm.
um Tokyo Revengers, I think that My Hero, the things that are current that I'm watching. Boruto, I'm still behind on the anime, but I'm ahead on the manga, so it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to see how the Boruto anime was versus the manga, like, seeing what the differences would be in this current arc.
Right.
Yu Yu Hakusho, obviously, what I'm watching is older. I'm gonna start watching Ace of Diamond. I watched 3 episodes of it last year just to kind of see if I wanted to watch it, and I was like, "Yo,
Oh,
this shit's
okay.
fire." Uh, Ace of Diamond, the first 3 episodes were fucking dope. I was like, "Okay, I think I want to watch this for sure." After Haikyuu, bro, I was like, I want to watch more sports anime. Like Haikyuu was my shit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I don't have anything new that I want to jump into yet, but I have been hearing a lot about To Your Eternity. I've been hearing a lot about it. Um,
Mm.
but I think the things I'm most excited about coming out are Chainsaw Man. Like after seeing that trailer, I was like, yikes! Like this looks outstanding. Um, and Star
Mm.
Wars Visions, I'm beyond excited for. Have you
Oh
seen
wow.
that?
Okay. I have not.
Bro, you guys need to do a reaction to the trailer, the Star Wars Visions. Essentially, Star Wars had reached out to Japanese animation studios to do an anthology series, Japanese animated Star Wars short stories.
What?
Bro, this shit is I was like,
Oh
yes. I
man,
was
that
like,
sounds fire.
yes. Bro,
What?
so they're like basically each studio is taking on its own like anthology story. So I think I'm not sure how many episodes the series will be, but I think each episode will be like its own story, is what I think. But it looks incredible, bro. Like it looks so dope. It looks fucking fire. So that's something that I think I'm the most excited about that I wasn't expecting. I was like, oh shit, like this is one of those things that you kind of want to see those crossovers of like, damn, like how could a Japanese animation studio take on an IP that you're familiar with? Like, superheroes would be awesome, like DC or Marvel, but a Japanese animation studio doing it. Like, that's something that I'm like, oh, this would be super dope to see. So seeing that, and I think, yeah, I mean, besides that, it's kind of the webtoon thing for me, bro. Like the Tower of God is just so fucking fire. Like that shit is. I just love reading that. Solo Leveling is crazy, but
Yeah.
mostly on the reading tip, I think.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out though. I didn't know that Star Wars was partnering up with actual animation studios to make a series. That's actually pretty fire. So I'm hoping they do it justice. I hope they do it justice. That's gonna be something dope to see for sure.
Yeah, bro. I mean, Disney has all the money, so I think that's the thing where if people understand production side of things, like money is really what makes something what it is. Like, so if they have the budget, that's why certain episodes for like shonen, like weekly shonens, like Boruto or One Piece, they're getting money from advertising dollars for the other episodes to fund the crazy animation fight sequences for certain other episodes, which is why I see like a gigantic difference. And oh, this episode blah 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 is crazy, can't wait, like because all the advertising dollars are going to that. But when you have a short series that is funded by Disney and they have all the money, they can say, okay, we want it to be the level that we need it to be at. Here's the money to do so, and let's make that shit happen. Like they don't have the money issue at all. It's like, so I don't think that they're going to, considering
Right.
what they did with Mandalorian. I think their TV stuff is going to be it. So hopefully, I agree. Like we saw the movies, and I'm like, guys, come on. But hopefully they knock it out of the park with the anime side. And I don't know. It might switch some things up, bro. I don't know if it's gonna. I think it might set a new level, a new precedent for Star Wars, bro. Like people may be like, yo, we want to see more of this. So
Okay. For sure, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Hey, is there a delay on your side when I'm talking? Cause like I'm looking at your side and like I'm hearing
yep,
your audio after like you're already talking. So I'm just like So I'm trying to like
yep.
time like when I
It's
talk.
weird. I think I
Okay.
no, you're good because I'll correct everything in post anyways. But there's I think there's some kind of weird sync thing with Discord. It like falters over a period of time. So it is what it is. But just internet quirks that we have to deal with. I have one last question that I have before we wrap is so because I see like the studio you're in now, right? I know you were talking about you got a new iMac, which is kind of wild. I'm like, okay, I didn't think my man was gonna go iMac swag on it. So is this like a new setup for a different type of content, or are you guys still doing your reactions where you guys usually are? Like, what's the new sitch for Reanimated, man?
So yeah, so this is a new setup for reactions and stuff of that manner. What I plan to do with the old studio that we had, because that's where I still do my podcasting stuff. So when I do my podcast episodes, I record in that room,
Right.
and that room will pretty much be just for that. Personally, I plan on doing some more lifestyle content moving forward. So I wanted to do like maybe some fashion segments and stuff like that, because I'm really into like street fashion and stuff like that. So I kind of have like a
Mm-hmm.
setup in my room where I would do that as well. Um,
Right.
so I mean, when it comes to creating content, I've kind of got a new appreciation for it over time, just because actually doing it and seeing like getting that organic growth and seeing like people what they're interested in, and what type of interest they share with you, it's just dope. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to have multiple different dynamic backgrounds that I can kind of just work with and um, just give a fresh, updated look, because like this isn't the final setup for Reanimated either, because I plan on eventually getting a office space and building that up. Like I want to actually like buy the building, you know what I'm saying, have it under my name and have
Mm-hmm.
multiple creative spaces in there, not just for reactions, but I want to have like
Right.
what is that damn stuff called? Ideally, I want to have a whole room. It's like a green screen room. Like literally, the walls are green, the floor is
Right.
green, everything is green. So that way you
Mm-hmm.
can, like, I can rent the room out so people that want to do green screen work, they could do
Right.
that. Or if I want to do some green screen stuff, I can do that as well. as because I want to start doing some skits and stuff. So obviously that would help out for a lot. Like if you want to do like shadow clones or some shit, you know what I'm saying? You could have like
Right.
you could just take that chroma key out and you can just like run a movement and then just like repeat that in the original file. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just so much
Right.
potential with that. I want to have like I can't remember a foley room or foley room. I can't remember how it's pronounced, but where it's
Hmm.
like all like different sounds and stuff that you can make. It's a soundproof room, and I could rent that out for people that want to do like sound effects or anything like that. I just want to have a creative studio where anybody can do anything. If you want to do beat production, there's a beat production room. If you want to do screen printing, there's a screen printing machine in there. If you want to do green screen stuff, there's a green screen room. And then obviously I want to have a reaction room that's strictly in that building, and then like we just have access to the building, like we can go in and out. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has a key. If they want to do their own content too, they can do that as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's the big scale future vision for what I want Reanimated to be and the direction I want it to go in. So yeah, man, that's big plans moving forward. And then obviously
That's
I
fire.
want to do like a con too at some point. That would be dope, just to have like our own con where we can like have people come out,
Hmm.
enjoy anime, talk anime, get different vendors, have different events and stuff like that. I feel like that would be something that would be super dope too. So yeah, man,
For
a
sure.
lot more to go in the future.
That's fire, bro. I think that's something too. Like, not a lot of, I don't want to say not a lot of creators think about, but I think hopefully a lot of creators do think about is, you know, you had talked about it earlier of like stepping stones, right? Like, how do we evolve with whatever
Right.
we're building? And I think that's something that, you know, a lot of people that are artistic, that are creatives, never really think of the next, the next like the next stream. They're just like, oh, I'm this, and it's like, yeah, that's cool, but once that dries, you need something like there's gotta have you gotta have multiple places to where you're diversifying like your creative space or your incomes or whatever. And I think that's something that, you know, I've seen a lot in this space where people will get to a certain point, they plateau, and then it's just, you know, nothing ever progresses outside of that. So it's dope that you're thinking
Right.
in that space of like, yes, let's build, let's build, let's build. And like, cause I've seen the podcast that you do, man. That shit is fire, bro. That's dope. Because it's mostly around music, correct? Like mostly
Appreciate
like
that, yo.
musicians and artists.
Uh, Yeah, yeah, musicians, artists, just creatives in general, anybody that's doing anything. Because I mean, the intent of the podcast initially was to bring light to things that go on in my area, which is 757 on the East Coast. Is just to kind of just bring attention to the happenings and who's doing what, and give insight to artists if they want to provide that to their fans and stuff like that. So that was the main goal initially, and then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's cool and all, but now I'm starting to become like a hip hop platform because all I'm interviewing is hip hop artists and stuff like that, and I don't want to marginalize myself like that.
Right.
So I started like, okay, let me bring other guests on that have different backgrounds that can teach other people things and teach me things too because I like to learn. You know what I'm saying? I like to learn about things that I don't
Right.
know about. So if I bring somebody up there and I can learn something and also teach somebody else something in the process of having someone up there that's a guest for something completely random. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That I think that's a win-win for me because it's like, okay, I learned something. I gave this person a platform to talk about what they're passionate about, and people that are viewing also probably learn something as well because maybe they didn't know about that. So um,
Right.
I think that's really what humans should do is learn and grow. You know what I'm saying, and progress and evolve in our own ways. So that's my philosophy and I guess why I do the podcast. So yeah, that's the goal.
No, that's just fire, bro. And right before we wrap, because I know I asked everybody this, and I know people are gonna want to know, so I'm gonna ask it anyways. On camera, top five anime. What you on?
Okay. Top five anime. So for me, it's gonna be Naruto, of course. You know what I'm saying? I got Naruto up there.
Right.
After Naruto, and after Naruto, it's like I don't want to say it's in any particular order. But Naruto, I
Mm-hmm.
have I have Attack on Titan in there. I have
Mm-hmm.
Death Note in there. I have Yu Yu Hakusho in
Mm-hmm.
there, and my number five spot
Mm-hmm.
always changes. It fluctuates all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
because it's been erased before, it's been
Mm-hmm. Great
it was
series.
Demon Slayer at one point just because I was so yeah I was just so the animation and the direction it's going in, and I read the manga as well. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I know where the story is going, and that's one of
Mm-hmm.
those things where I'm like, okay, a good story doesn't need to be um, 7, 8 seasons long. You know what I'm saying? Like Demon Slayer has an objective, the objective's met, series is done, cool. And then the fights that come up, bro, like once Ufotable does their thing with it, it's gonna be a go to series. Like it's just going to be. Um,
Yeah.
so it's in the air, man. It's in the air, but it's in between like Demon Slayer, Erased, and what was the other one? I feel like I'm gonna kick myself in the shin for not remembering this. What the fuck was it? Oh, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Yeah, that's
Mm.
and that one is there as well. Like those three are just like deadlocked,
Yes.
tied for that fifth spot, man. Like so, yeah, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was great. Like I would always recommend that to anybody who's like a
Oh
starter
yeah.
anime, just because it's concise to the point and it's just a dope story.
Yeah. And a great English dub. Like really, really good.
Yeah, fire.
Very good. Oh my
Hmm.
god. That's a great list. It's a good list. Yours is
Thanks, man.
very similar to
What's yours?
mine. Very similar. Um, in order, because I don't include any animes that are less than 3 seasons, unless the anime was only what it was, right? If it was
Mm,
only 2 seasons, cool. If it was only 1 season, cool. But if it's an ongoing
right.
thing, I need more than 3 seasons. So because I understand and have read the manga and it's already completed, AOT is number one right now for me. Number two is One Piece. Number three is Hunter x Hunter. Four is Naruto, and five was Death Note
Mm,
slash Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but Haikyuu has taken that place. So
mm,
that's where I'm at on
okay.
mine. But I Haikyuu, bro, was just it was such a surprise, and I thoroughly enjoyed every time I watched it. There was just I think if you've been an athlete or if you've been an entrepreneur, if you've been into fitness, the understanding of the principles of success and like, working and you have these obstacles and you're like, all right, cool, how do I level up? And you have rivals, you have people that want to push you. You're like, there's something about that process that I just fuck with. And him and Hinata and Kageyama's energy is just too fire to me. I'm like, yo, this is dope. So love that series. But yeah,
Fire, bro.
yeah,
Nice, very fire. Yeah, Haikyuu is dope, man. I definitely enjoy Haikyuu a lot. Because every time I watch it, bro, I just want to suit up. I don't even play volleyball. I'm just like, bro, I want to get out there and play some
facts,
volleyball. You know what I'm saying?
facts,
And that's what makes a good sports anime, bro.
facts.
That's what makes a good sports anime. It's like,
Yeah,
yo, I'm trying to suit up, bro. Like I'm trying to act up real quick. You know what I'm saying? So,
facts.
have you seen Kuroko's basketball? That one is really fire.
I haven't. People have been telling me about it, bro.
Okay. Yeah, Kuroko's basketball is fire. Because it's like so it's basketball, but they are like super extra with like the basketball, like the moves. Like you know how anime is, they gotta be extra everything, man. So like
For
somebody gets
sure.
crossed up, he's like, "Oh, this is American basketball." You know what I'm saying? And like it's just like everything is just intense. Every movement is just you feel every
Right.
movement. Like it's really good though. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. So that's another dope sports anime
I've
to
heard
add to the
great
list of
things
things to
about that.
watch. Okay, fire.
Would you prefer that or Slam Dunk? Because I heard Slam Dunk's like an OG.
Um, Yeah, so honestly, I haven't seen Slam Dunk, so I can't compare the two.
Okay,
I have seen
gotcha.
I've seen a more modest basketball anime in Ahiru no Sora. It's like okay, you have basketball and it's more realistic. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't have somebody pulling up
Right.
from full court as soon as they get the ball inbounded and it's talking about, oh, this is my ability. You know what I'm saying? So Kuroko's basketball is dope if you want to see like the grandiose like basketball and stuff like that. I imagine Slam Dunk is probably more realistic and more grounded than Kuroko's basketball is though. So that's probably a better series if you like the more technical aspect of basketball. Same thing with Ahiru no Sora,
Right.
excuse me.
Okay. Bet. Well, bro, man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for getting on, bro, and
Appreciate you, bro. Of
chatting and spending some
course.
time, wasting some time with me, man. Uh, for those that
Nah, I
don't
didn't
know,
worry.
for those that have no idea where to find you, where can they find you on social, bro?
You can find me at Reanimated on YouTube. That's RE:animated. I'm sure you'll have the links in the description as well. And then we also
100%.
have nice. So we also have Instagram as well and Twitter. Those are both Reanimated YT for YouTube, not white. And yeah, that's where you can find us at.
Yes, make sure you guys follow, bro. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Check his stuff out, bro. They put out super
Sure.
high quality content. Your boy Sherm always got some knowledgeable things to talk about. He knows what he's talking about. I know a lot of you guys that watch my content are like, yo, we like your analyze, your how you analyze stuff or whatever. My man's knows what he's talking about. So if you guys like, more discussion based stuff as well, because there's a crew of
Appreciate
them as
that,
well,
bro.
and you want that interaction, check their content out, bro. Get them over that 100K hump. They definitely deserve it and put in the work. So make sure you guys can help them out over there. But other than that, guys, we'll catch you guys on the next podcast. Till then, we'll see you later.